All right, and we are live. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scotty O, aka Gen Z Attorney, and y'all know what it is. Today we're breaking down day 3, day 3 of the Cardi B assault trial, and y'all know how it goes. Just gotta hang out for a few minutes, let folks get in here. So we're gonna get this all set up nice and perfect. Yeah, okay. Let me share this. Boom. Quote, we're live now. That's right. So yeah, we're just hanging out. Got this bad boy ready to go. Y'all know we got to get this sped up a little bit too. Get through this a little faster than 7 hours and 2 minutes, but yesterday, I mean, we did day 2 yesterday, and how many? It was 8 hours of video. I think we got through the whole thing in like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So yeah, we're moving fast. So we're just gonna keep up the same energy, keep moving quickly. Waiting to see who's gonna be my first comment today. It's been somebody different every day. So let's see. But it may take folks a few minutes to get in. That's all good. I think with that in mind, we're probably just going to go ahead and get started on the video. And y'all will just be there catching up as we go. But this is for my playback people, my troopers who listen to the recording on the playback. Y'all are waiting for me to get into it already. I know. So yeah. So we're just gonna do that. Let's hop on in. Hope everyone's had a good Labor Day, not Memorial Day, Labor Day, Monday. What better way to spend the day than watching Cardi B fight for her life. Just kidding, not for her life, but for her pocketbook in this trial. Ended yesterday with her testifying. Being called by the plaintiff to testify, and her testimony was quite funny, quite good, and I thought she represented well, but the day ended before she could finish, so she's going to be the first one up testifying again. Beyond that, I think the plaintiff's case here is just utterly falling apart, pretty much in real time. It's been rough watching. Pretty much half of their questions, if not more than half, are getting objected to, and the objections are getting sustained. I call that the objection buzzsaw that the plaintiff's lawyer keeps walking into, and really not a good look. And yeah, the whole case is not a good look right now for the plaintiff side. So I think Cardi B is doing very good for herself and her testimony, and her lawyers in fighting the case. And at this point, we'll see how this final day testimony goes. But at this point, my official prediction is I think she gets off scot-free, basically. No penalty, no liability whatsoever. Yeah, that is my feeling, but we'll see. Anything can happen on day 3, and yeah. So let's just jump in. Also, where it left off with the judge was taking it under advisement of whether or not to let the receptionist and the doctor from the clinic testify, because Cardi B, her team wanted to call these 2 witnesses to testify. The plaintiff was like, no, I don't want them to come testify. Said he hadn't had an opportunity to get in contact with them or even know who they were. And so he objected to that. Judge said he'll take it under advisement and issue a ruling first thing in the morning, which here we are here. So this should be the first thing that gets addressed, is whether or not the receptionist and whether or not the OBGYN doctor are going to be allowed to testify today on day 3.
We're just meeting and conferring about witnesses, the special verdict form, and the jury instructions. And did the court want us to continue doing that now, or during the break at 11?
Yeah, probably during the break.
Thank you.
Yesterday I ruled that Dr. Finky could testify. One rule on the Malcolm issue.
So there, he's saying, okay, he's already ruled basically that the doctor, the OBGYN, is going to be allowed to testify. Now it's going to be a matter of whether the receptionist is allowed to testify.
I don't think that there's any evidence of intentionally hiding this witness. I think both parties wanted to identify this witness. I think both parties made attempts to investigate and to identify this witness. At the final status conference, the receptionist was identified as a witness. We had discussions about attempting to identify her. She subsequently was identified, so I don't think that there's unfair surprise. I don't find any evidence of bad faith in terms of the discovery process, and so I'm going to allow her to testify.
May I add one thing about that, Your Honor?
What's that?
May I add one thing about
What's that?
So he's allowing the receptionist to come in as well to testify. So presumably this is going to be redound to the benefit of the side that is wanting them to testify. So this will be Cardi's side, the defense, who was wanting to call both these witnesses to testify. Judge is going to allow them both to testify. So that gives you an idea of the what kind of testimony they're going to offer here if one side really wants them to come in and the other side really doesn't want them to come in. So these should be good witnesses for Cardi B as well. So shaping up for another good day for Cardi on day 3.
Yesterday you suggested that I believe the purpose of saying it is to have fairness to my side was to allow me to depose her. If I wish to depose her, do you allow that?
I think if she can be deposed over, say, the lunch break, because I think you're going to call her today.
Plaintiff's counsel left a message yesterday that apparently it sounds like he's going to run out of witnesses this morning.
Okay.
We intend to call her this morning. She is unavailable in the afternoon. She has a child that she has to take care of. The child is in preschool at the moment, and so that's her only window.
May I respond to that?
Go ahead.
It's not that I'm going to be running out of witnesses. I wanted to learn what was going to happen with the hearing today about these witnesses, and there was no ruling about my witnesses. There's still 3 more to go. So I did leave a message for Mr. Peterson that my intention was to have Cardi B testify today, possibly put on the plaintiff to recall her as to some of the facts that are discussed in Cardi B, and then have the defendants put on their witnesses in the afternoon, and I would then, if it drags on, bring more witnesses next week.
Your Honor, if I may. First of all, I would object to him recalling in his own case in chief a witness apart who's already been questioned and there was crossed. But second, the idea what he's referring to in his phone message last night was that Your Honor said that you would be willing to allow parties to take witnesses out of order, which I understood to mean that if there was a defendant witness, I could put them on during the plaintiff's case in chief. What he's proposing is that he's run out of witnesses and wants me to take my case before he rests, and I would object to that.
Your Honor, it's not that I'm saying that I'm running out of witnesses. What I'm saying is the court has advised us that we can call witnesses out of order. And because it's a holiday weekend, these witnesses have other plans. The same way that his witness is unavailable in the afternoon, Dr. Aziz Olahi, Ms. Parsi, and Amanda Kelly, they have their own obligations, and they're not available to testify today, but they would be available next week, on Tuesday, right after Labor.
Generally speaking, I'm okay with having witnesses being called out of order, but I think, when was Amanda Kelly identified?
She was 100% identified. She would be testifying as to Dr. Scher that he has died in 2021, if there could be an agreement between counsel and the court, that the court would make an instruction that it is a fact that Dr. Scher has died in 2021, that the parties have stipulated to that. I don't need to call her that.
Okay.
That's all I want her for.
I don't know.
You can look online. There's a death certificate.
I don't know. My understanding, my recollection is that plaintiff testified he died, so I don't know why we need a receptionist to come in and testify that he died.
Because there's not something concrete that establishes that fact. Amanda Kelly also is a
Can you
witness.
just say it's not in dispute?
Why not stipulate that?
I don't have any evidence that he's in Jamaica living a high life. I mean,
Well,
if that resolves the issue, that's fine. We're not going to put on evidence that he's alive and hiding or something.
I will say this. Amanda Kelly also witnessed, when the witness came into their office, she saw the scar, she'd be testifying about things like that they had a medical file for her. There's a lot more involved that really Amanda Kelly would be beneficial for. So it's up to them. If they want to take that chance and have all that come out, that's what's coming.
I still don't understand why we're fighting about who you're expecting to call and as a witness to testify. Like, this stuff just should already be established, and the fact that we're wasting more of the court's time trying to figure this out is just, to me, is insane, and it's falling completely on the lap of the plaintiff, because these are his witnesses that he's talking about right here. But terrorism's good evening, everybody. Gen Z attorney, how are you? Happy Labor Day. That's right, happy Labor Day. Doing well. Enjoyed the day. It was pretty relaxed, pretty chilled day. Had a volleyball practice for a local high school I'm helping coach at, so I just got back from that. And so I was like 2 minutes late, I think, starting the stream. But we got on, and we're rocking and rolling. And yeah, it's the final day of testimony. We're excited to be here. And yeah, the judge so far has ruled that he's going to allow in both the OBGYN and the receptionist that were both the witnesses that were listed. That the plaintiff is trying to say, oh, this is unfair, I didn't know about this. And the judge is basically saying, you by your own admission, your office is right across the street. We knew, at least generally, who these people were, even if we didn't know their specific identities. We knew there was a receptionist. We knew there was the doctor. These were easily identifiable, even if you had not identified them already. So therefore, we're going to allow them both to testify.
I'm willing to let that go and keep it simple because the court wants this to go fast. All I want is a
I want you
stipulation.
to go efficiently.
Correct, yes, sir. All I'm asking for is a simple request that Dr. Scher has got. Whether she saw him, didn't see him, that's coming through the plaintiff. But he's dead. He is dead.
Well, what proof? I mean, why don't you show defense counsel whatever proof you've got that he's dead, and then maybe he can stipulate to it.
Yeah, but he's adding more to it. He's saying that she
There is more. If the man
Wait, that's not interrupting or from each other. All right.
He's adding a lot more that was never disclosed before. When he added Amanda, whatever her name is, in July, he said receptionist to Dr. Scher. That was it. Now he's saying that she's going to testify that she didn't see a scar on it. They have no medical records.
She's not done yet.
That there are no. They produce no medical records by Dr. Scher. So, I mean, this is a complete end-around discovery. They never identified her in discovery. And if he's asking me to stipulate that he's dead, and then adding all this baggage to it, if there's any deposition that should be taken, if there's going to be all that baggage, then the deposition should be of this.
Yeah, where's Cardi B?
You won't call her if you stipulate the doctor's dead.
Oh, they
And
do.
you say you have proof.
Let me tell you, Your Honor, let me tell the court respectfully what Amanda Kelly knows. Amanda Kelly was the office manager and the nurse. She's a licensed nurse who saw the patient together with Dr. Scher. It would have been great if Dr. Scher was alive. He could testify, produce his medical file. We're prejudiced because he's dead. Plaintiff treated with that doctor. That doctor.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's part of your problem with bringing this case so many years later. Like, this was a 2018 incident. This is why we have statute of limitations, by the way, is to try and put a timeline on stuff. Because over time, people forget stuff, people die, people move away, become unavailable. It's, that's why we try and get stuff done sooner than later. But you are prejudiced by the fact this doctor died, but you're also, who brought the case? Who sued who? It was your side that sued Cardi B, and apparently did not do so in very much of a timely manner, considering the fact that now we are finally at trial for this, a full 7 years, more than 7 years after the actual date of the alleged offense. So, yeah, you're prejudiced, but it's kind of who's really at fault for that?
Doctor's name, address, everything was disclosed in discovery. It wasn't hidden. They had it. So Amanda Kelly is going to testify that, one, this was our patient in 2018. We had a medical file. Unfortunately, Dr. Scher died in 2021. I have no access to it. I did examine the patient with Dr. Scher. I saw she had a scar. It looked to be within a few months of that date. If they want all that to come in, that's really helpful to me. But it's not that important that I'm willing, as a gesture of good faith, to let go as long as they stipulate that Dr. Scher is in fact dead as of 2021. So that the jury understands that there's possibly no way that I could bring in Dr. Scher to speak about what he knows.
If counsel is saying that he's not going to call this witness, if we agree, if we stipulate that it is undisputed, that we don't dispute that the doctor died, that's fine. Okay. I just don't want all the extra back.
No extra back.
Okay.
But how would we let the jury
I'll
know
tell the jury.
when?
I can do it during instructions. I can do it now.
I would like it.
Okay.
Well,
That Amanda Kelly was a witness to that fact.
I'm not going to say no.
all right, fine.
Okay.
And I would prefer the word disputed rather than stipulated, just because we don't know.
And what's the doctor's first name?
John Scher, MD, and he was plaintiff's plastic surgeon, the first one,
Okay.
in 2018.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is
And
important
what-
because the judge is trying to get on them and be like, well, apparently there's a doctor, a plastic surgeon, the first one that treated the plaintiff here. But that doctor is now dead and is not able to testify. And so the plaintiff is trying to say, can we just stipulate that he's dead? Like, seems like a really simple, reasonable request, right? And it is, but he's also trying to kind of end around and get in that these other extra facts that the defense, Cardi's team, is basically saying, whoa. If we're just stipulating the pure fact that this doctor is dead now, then okay, fine, easy, we'll stipulate to that. But we're not gonna let you get all this extra information in, basically through this extra testimony without actually having a witness to call to testify. So that's a good catch by the defense. Well, honestly, the plaintiff's making it easy by saying all this extra stuff on top of let's stipulate that he's dead. But yeah, so that's what the defense is trying to say. Look, if we're just stipulating that there was a doctor and that doctor's now dead, look, we're fine with that. Just leave all the extra baggage out of it.
Issue with recalling the plaintiff again?
No, but who's Parsi?
Parsi is the receptionist, Dr. Azizulali. Dr. Azizulali has an office there, several floors down, but he happened to be in that vicinity and learned of the disturbance and came upstairs with Parsi and Amanda Kelly we've already discussed, and Mike Schoch was just another patient in the building.
But okay, now I'm putting my defense hat on. I'm objecting to this witness that he's planning on calling. You're saying there was a doctor who was in the building who was working several floors below the incident where it happened, who then heard that an incident had happened and then went and up after it had already finished. You want to talk about a witness who has really nothing to add to this case. In fact, the only way he even heard about anything happening, it was through hearsay. He heard it from somebody else. So why would this witness be allowed to be called at all to testify? So I imagine we're about to hear an objection from the defense to trying to exclude this witness.
And to what extent, if any, is there testimony cumulative. Did they all see the same thing?
It's the same like their Dr. Finky and their witness Malcolm. Then I would argue that that's cumulative. And what they show in D1.
I'm just asking you, did they see different things?
I don't know what they saw. I never deposed them. They never deposed them. It's the same like their two. It is exactly the same like their two witnesses. They have a doctor and a receptionist. I have a doctor and a receptionist. So if the court is going to limit me, I would ask that they limit them to one witness.
No, I'm not saying I'm limiting anything. I just don't want the same two people to...
What about doctor's notes from that time period? Would that work? Because yes, hearsay is crazy. So yeah, there's ways you can get around the when a declarant is unavailable. I'm actually going to look them up. Say exceptions for unavailable witness. So yeah, Rule 804 basically lists out the criteria for when a witness is unavailable. Death is one of them. Yeah, because of death. Cannot be present, testify. So exceptions to that, basically here's the way you can get a witness's testimony in if they've already died. It's a former testimony, something they've already given under oath, a statement made under the belief of imminent death, also known as the dying declaration, because why would they lie about something? It's literally their last words coming out of their mouth. That's another exception. Statement against interest. They say something that basically just kind of goes against their interests, such that it's like, why would you lie about that? Like, why would you admit to murdering somebody in some different situation if you didn't actually do it? Or if it was a doctor, why would you admit to, I don't know, overbilling or perpetrating some sort of fraud unless you actually did it? So that's statement against interest. Statement of personal or family history. Declare its own personal information. And yeah, other exception is Rule 807. So that's kind of the basic gist of when you can get in an unavailable witness's testimony. So you could try and maybe fashion in, well, if he's got a former testimony exception, that would certainly apply. But if we're just talking about medical records, you could try and get another expert to review the records and then make their own conclusion from it. But yeah, no, it's kind of like the plaintiff said. It's he's prejudiced by the fact that this doctor is dead, and it's like, yes, that may be true that you are in fact prejudiced because this doctor is not here to testify, but like if no one caused the prejudice, if it's just a natural prejudice of life, then it's like, I don't know what you're expecting the court to do about it. So yeah.
What if they did see the same thing? Why can't they say that?
Because it's cumulative.
But they're two separate witnesses that see the same thing.
And what benefit is there to it?
Because when more people testify to the same thing, it makes it more true.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, we don't even know
that's what.
He can't even tell you if it's cumulative because he's telling you he doesn't know what they're going to say.
I know what they're going to say in general. They're going to say that the incident occurred the way that the plaintiff says it occurred.
And
they came upstairs.
During the incident?
At some point. The same way their doctor showed up.
I think it's an insufficient offer of proof. And
Here's what I'm willing to do.
Please admonish counsel not to interrupt him.
I would ask the same.
I don't think he has been. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel said we didn't take their depositions. They weren't identified until the end of July. The reference had been until the end of July. So they had no choice, a chance to take the depositions.
All right. If you want to propose, if you want them to testify and offer proof, then be specific as to what they saw and when they saw it.
I have no problem. I will contact them again. I cannot produce them today, but I will take that up.
All right. Otherwise,
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I still don't see why this doctor from the lower floor would be allowed to testify at all if he didn't see anything.
Are present.
All right, jury's coming
We're
back
still on
in.
the record in the Alice matter. Counsel and the parties are present, as are the members of our jury and alternate. We have Ms. Almanzar is still on the stand. Ma'am, you're reminded you're still under oath? All right, and we are going to resume with direct exam under Evidence Code 776. Would you like to proceed, Counsel?
Yes.
And just one note to anyone in the gallery, if you don't have a media badge that's been approved by the sheriff, please do not be using any cell phones, tablets, computers. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Thank you for coming back today. Good morning, Ms. Cardi B. Good morning. So, when we were discussing yesterday at the end, we were talking about the issue where you testified that Miss Ellis was recording you with her cell phone. You remember that?
Yes.
Do you know what type of cell phone she was using at the time?
I'm not quite sure. I just remember it was clear.
What color was the cell phone?
It had a case. It definitely had a case. But I'm not sure.
Do you know if the type of phone that she was using when she was recording you, would a light go on or would some kind of noise?
It didn't have a light. It didn't have a light.
So if the cell phone was facing Miss Ellis, I'm assuming it was. Well, let me ask you that. Was the cell phone that you're talking about, was it facing you or was it facing Miss Ellis?
The camera was facing me. When I got off the elevator, her phone was here. Then when I was walking and she was behind me, and then she said, "Oh my God, y'all, Cardi B, Cardi B." I looked back and the camera was like right there, like practically on her chest type stuff. I'm like, "Yo, why are you recording me?"
And you've seen like police officers where they have a camera on the front of them. Have you ever seen that where a police officer will have that?
I've never seen that, but that was her phone, not a camera.
I understand, but I'm saying, have you ever seen a security officer, a police officer have a special camera on their chest which records what occurs in front of them?
Boom. The objection buzzsaw. It's whirling up again, and I'm here for it.
I'm not saying she was recording you. I am asking you this question. If she was recording you, why does it matter?
Because she's a security guard and I'm going to a doctor's office. It definitely mattered.
You were causing a disturbance. Maybe
I
she
wasn't
wanted to
causing a
record you.
disturbance.
Objection argumentative.
Let's not talk over each other, number one. Wait for him to finish asking the question before you answer.
Do you own the building of 8920 Wilshire Boulevard?
No, I was walking to a doctor's office.
Do you agree that you were a guest in that building? You were a visitor, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. When a security officer tells you to leave, are you...
Now here's going to be the trick for Cardi. She's got to stay calm, cool, calm, collected, under control, not get riled up, not get loud. If she sees an opportunity to maybe crack another joke, lighten the mood, certainly I think that's okay. But looks like this lawyer, the plaintiff's lawyer, is coming out swinging right now. And she's so quick to try and fight back and respond back that her attorney is objecting, but the judge isn't even hearing the objection. I could hear it through the mic. He was objecting, but Cardi had already given the answer by the time he finished saying the word objection. So, yeah, her goal right now is stay cool, calm, collected. He's going to try and trip her up on some details and probably try and play more to the emotion. Here's the other thing. Great saying in the law. When the facts are on your side, pound the facts. When the law is on your side, pound the law. And when neither is on your side, pound the table. And I have a feeling right now the plaintiff's lawyer has realized that the facts and the law are really not on his side. So he's about to start doing a lot of table pounding, meaning trying to play to the emotions more. And that's my feeling. We'll see what's about to happen.
Supposed to leave? Objection? Yes or no?
Sustained defense and answer. Covered this yesterday.
You were causing a disturbance in the building.
She started the disturbance.
Did you also...
Ma'am, can you objection, please?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. What's wrong?
Do you remember yesterday you said that there was a verbal altercation between the two of you? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And an altercation is a fight, isn't it? It's a verbal fight. You had a verbal fight with her.
Ask and answer.
Yes or no?
Yes, sustained.
You used the F word during that fight, didn't you?
Yes.
What other words did you use? Tell us in your own words what you said.
I said, "Bitch, get the fuck out of my face. Why are you in my face? Why are you recording me? Ain't you supposed to be security?"
Tell it to her now. Go ahead.
Huh?
Say it again. Say it.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection?
You want me to say it to
I
her
want
face?
you to tell it to her face what you said on that day so she can hear it for herself.
Objection is
Oh boy, what did I say? What is this if not pounding the table? Telling her to say it to my client's face right here. Bro, this face says it all. Like, what? What are you talking about? Oh my gosh, yeah.
saying.
Hey, Your Honor, do we have civility in the
Yeah,
courthouse?
why don't we just take the temperature down a little bit? If you have factual questions to ask her, please do so. It's not time to argue with her.
Yeah.
What were the words that you used when you got off the elevator to this security guard who's no longer security guard at this time?
Objection to argumentative and also covered yesterday.
It's been covered several times, so it's asked and answered. It's a good question, sustained.
Yep.
What did you tell Imani Ellis yesterday?
Objection.
What were you holding in your hand at the time when you got off the elevator?
Objection to argumentative.
Overruled.
Yeah, that's a good question. Man.
Nothing, correct? You weren't holding anything, were you?
No.
You had both of your hands free to do whatever you wanted to do, correct? Yes or no?
Objection to this.
Overruled.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, these are good questions. It's actually covering some new ground here. Yeah, is he trying to recreate the day? I mean, yeah, what does he want? He's trying to bait her into like jumping off the witness stand and jump onto his client and start fighting her and scratch her in real time. I guess that's one way to win this case, but yeah, that if that's your strategy, if that's what you're banking on, is to try and rage bait enough. Yeah, put Cardi back in that same frame of mind. Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like he's trying to bait her to get a rise out of her to show the jury that like, oh look, she's unpredictable. She's a powder keg and she just exploded in this courtroom in front of you. But in reality, like that's what I'm saying. Most important thing for her to do right now: remain cool, calm, and collected. And because the more reasonable she remains, the more insane the plaintiff's lawyer is going to sound. Because we've already, like, bro, I still can't believe. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Like that, I want you to say it to my client's face. Look at her right now and say what you said on that day. And yeah, but also too, you're getting objected to. Like, you've already asked her 5 times, what did you say that day? And it's already been objected, asked and answered, objection sustained. And your very next question was, what did you say that day? It's like, listening ears. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listening ears on, my friend.
And if you wanted to scratch or cut her face with your right hand or your left hand, if you wanted to do it, you could have done it, correct? So
But
you're
I
not
didn't.
disabled.
But I didn't because I had a baby inside me.
How did she know?
Hang on. Let's slow down the pace just a little bit before the opportunity to give objections and for the court reporter. What was the objection?
Argumentative, relevance.
Overruled.
And again, I would ask that counsel lower his voice. This isn't.
So, Your Honor, I was told yesterday that my voice was too low by others, so that's why it's a little bit higher today, so that everybody can hear what I can say, as well as the witness.
I think there's a difference between volume and tone. I think the volume is fine, the tone is a little bit argumentative.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I apologize for that. I will try.
The difference, young man, there's a difference between volume and tone. Your volume is good, but your tone is a little argumentative. Oh, thank you, Your Honor. This judge is cool as a cucumber. I like this judge.
Do my best to tone it down. So, again, I will ask you to tell us and admit to this fact that you are not disabled, correct?
I'm not what?
Are you disabled?
At that moment, no.
No. Are you disabled?
Overruled.
Are you disabled? Yes or no?
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you things I can't do?
Fine. What was your disability on February 24th of 2018? What was your disability?
I was pregnant.
I was pregnant. I couldn't protect myself, even if I wanted to. She's like twice my size.
No problem. Let me ask you this. How many
Counsel, you
months
asked a
pregnant
question,
were
you need
you?
to wait for the answer.
Okay. Yes.
You done, man?
How many months pregnant were you?
I was around 13 to 12 weeks.
Months? 4 months? 3 months? 3 to 4 months. Fair enough? Did you have a bulging belly?
No, I didn't.
Did Miss Imani Ellis know that you were pregnant?
Objection called for speculation.
Objection, relevance.
Do you know if Imani Ellis knew that you were pregnant when you walked out of that elevator?
No,
Objection.
I didn't know. But she knows that I'm a patient. When you're a patient to go see a medical anything, you shouldn't even try to fight nobody. You don't know what disability they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this question.
Fair enough.
When you say you were disabled, were you disabled in your upper extremities, your arms? Were your arms disabled? The reason I'm asking is I want this to make it very clear for everybody that your arms can go up and down, and they could go up and down now, and they could go up and down on that day as well. You agree to this?
Objection, argumentative, asked and answered in a different way. And I guess that's fine.
I'll let you can answer this once. Please don't ask it again.
If my arms were disabled? No, my arms weren't disabled. No.
Can you raise your arms up?
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection.
You don't have to do it physically. I'm saying, are you able to do it?
Yes.
And on that day, you were able to do it as well, correct?
If I wanted to, yes.
Okay. That's all I'm asking.
She already answered it like
Aside
3
from your
times.
disability of being 3 to 4 months pregnant, did you have any other disabilities?
No.
Do you have a disabled placard? Are you legally disabled in any way?
What you want, counsel?
Yeah, what are we doing?
And the hoodie that you had on, what color was it? Was it black, white, yellow?
Objection,
purple,
relevance.
Pink?
I really don't remember.
And was the hoodie over your head or
Yes.
no? You wore it for what reason over your head? To protect your identity?
It could be very. I don't really want people to recognize me. My hair not done. My makeup not done. I probably just woke up. A lot of reasons.
And when you went there in the afternoon at 1:30 p.m., had you just woken up at that moment? Well, shortly before 1:30 p.m. on a Saturday?
Objection, relevance.
Sustain.
When you went to the building at 1:30 p.m., were you fasting or you had eaten something before you went to see the doctor?
Objection, relevant. I think the judge just sustained that objection without even hearing an objection. He just sustained it on his own motion. He's like, oh, please, my guy, what are we doing? Because here's the thing. The factual circumstances here, this is like a 30-second altercation to a minute. Like, it really, there's only so much ground you can cover as with any one witness. Now you can have multiple different witnesses testify and each give their own version of what happened. That's certainly important and relevant. But when you've got one witness, there's only so many details that they can give that are relevant in a situation that's like a minute long max. So I feel like she's pretty much got everything out that there is to get out. Yeah, I mean, where's he going with all of this? LOGs. Yeah, I think he really is just trying to, well, make it look like he's doing his job, but also try and maybe get a rise out of her and rile her up. But all he's doing is making himself look like an idiot. And yeah. So the objection buzzsaw is going to stay in full effect, I would imagine, because at this point the judge is also trying to just keep things going, keep things moving along, because we're just getting bogged down with some of these, like, what color was your hoodie? Like, why? What does that matter?
Now, when you saw Miss Imani Ellis and you got out of the elevator, I'm not asking who did what. I'm asking, was there any contact between you and her of any kind? What that means is fingers to fingers, shoes to shoes, knees to knees. Any contact between you and Imani Ellis of any kind. Was there? Yes or no?
No.
So she didn't touch you, correct?
No.
So if somebody comes here and testifies that she did do something to you physically, you disagree with that testimony, or you will, correct?
She didn't touch me.
Okay.
She didn't get to touch me. No. She was going to touch me, but she didn't get to touch
When
me.
you say she was going to touch you, how do you know that? You
Because
assume?
we were chest to chest at one point.
So then your chest did touch, right?
I'll say that, but you did say when I got off the elevator.
Okay. Let's-
We walked a little bit. That's when we got chest to chest. When we got off the elevator, we didn't do no contact.
I understand.
Yeah.
So here's how we're going to do this. The date of the incident is February 24th of 2018. You agree?
Yes.
Now I'm going to talk to you about the whole day. Not just the minute you got off the elevator. When I say the whole day, from the moment you got off the elevator, you saw Lonnie Ellis, you had your fight with her, whether it was verbal or not. At some point, she went away and you went away. So during that segment of time of your life, which was how many minutes in your opinion? 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute?
It was probably like a minute 45. It was so quick. It was really quick.
So from during the 1 minute and 45 seconds,
No.
Ms. Kirkos.
I didn't say 1 minute
We
45
haven't had a question yet. Please phrase one that's intelligible.
during the few minutes or 1 minute or whatever minutes it was that you were with Lonnie Ellis, during that period of time of your life and her life, during that segment, just hold this now, during that time period, at some point, you were chest to chest. You agree?
Yes.
There was physical contact between her chest and your chest, correct?
Yes.
Now, when
Yeah.
you had the chest-to-chest contact, at that moment, were you angry?
I was mostly nervous.
Were you angry?
Yes, I was angry.
How angry were you?
Depends on the level of angry, to be honest with you.
Let's talk about the level. I'm going to go from a scale of 1 to 10. On the scale of 1 to 10, what was the level of your anger when you were chest-to-chest with this person
Objection.
on the date of the incident?
Sorry, objection taken.
You were at a high level of anger when you were chest-to-chest with her, correct?
Objection regulated.
I don't think I was like on a high level of angry. I was more on a high level of concern. Very concerned.
And why were you concerned?
Because I'm pregnant and this girl's about to fucking beat my ass. Hello?
Hello. Hello, I'm here. So, when she was going to beat you,
Bro.
to specify, what did she do to have you believe that she was going to beat you? What did she do?
She was
Following.
on my face, chest to chest, and while we arguing, she's backing me. So we practically arguing, and I'm backing, and she's like walking forward.
Right. And she's, you said she's bigger than you, is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
My eyes.
I mean, look.
I'm looking, I don't agree with that. What is your basis? Are you saying she's physically bigger, she's taller?
I mean, you have her medical records,
I don't
right?
have anything. I'm asking you the question.
I mean, I was 130 pounds at that time.
So she's overweight, right? In your opinion.
Objection no.
Just a little.
You don't need to answer me.
Yeah, she wants to
Did you
answer
make fun of
though.
her that she was overweight when you were there in the hallway?
I don't think so.
Did you call her fat?
No, I was calling her a bitch.
Bitch?
Yes.
Do you think that's respectful to call a security guard a bitch?
Objection.
Is that how you talk to everybody?
Objection.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Now, you said you felt, I don't know the words, so let's go back to it. Did you feel scared, threatened, afraid at the moment your chest was...
Objection, ask and answer.
Absolutely.
You were scared?
Absolutely.
And you had your cell phone on you, right?
I did, but she's in my face.
That's fine. Did
Let's
you,
focus on the question and just answer.
did you use your cell phone to call Karan Newton, your security guard, who was downstairs, or the police?
Objection.
Did you call anybody?
David.
For help?
Overruled.
When I got inside the doctor's office and I said like on the little bed thing, I told him, yo, you wouldn't even believe what just happened. Meet me downstairs when I leave. I'm gonna call you when I leave.
If you were really scared, really afraid, isn't it true that you could have called your security guards to come upstairs and help you? Or you could have called the police. That was a possibility because you had your phone in your hand, correct?
Objection. Compound mischaracterizes the testimony that the phone was in my hand.
Sustained.
You had your phone in your pocket on the date of the incident?
Objection was.
Sustained.
Can we agree that you didn't call your security guard to help you after the incident, correct?
Objection.
To help you. You did call him, but you didn't call him to come upstairs.
I apologize. I thought he said mischaracterizes the testimony.
Overruled.
I didn't call him to help me. It was already done. It was done.
Yeah, it was so fast. I mean, you're talking about 45 seconds.
Now, let's talk about the fingernails. Okay? Fingernails.
Something new?
Well, I want to show a couple of things about the fingernails. So, this side of the ruler, okay, is 2 centimeters. You need to bring it closer. Can you see it from there?
Objection, Your Honor. You went over this yesterday.
I'm sorry.
2 centimeters. You know the size of 2 centimeters? How big it is?
As an answer,
I have a
Yeah, we did talk about the fingernails yesterday. Judge, I can see the judge giving him a little bit of leeway, a little bit of runway to see like, okay, what's your point here? But he's going to keep on a short leash, just all things considered.
I have like an understanding of how it would be. Yeah.
2 centimeters. It's a little bit less than an inch. Okay? Now, Miss Amani Ellis had a scar to her face of 2 centimeters long and she received plastic surgery for that. And my question to you is, did you at any time see a scar on Miss Imani Ellis's face, or a cut, or a scrape, at any time during the time of the incident?
No. And she couldn't get a scratch from me because I didn't touch her.
I understand. That's what you're saying.
He's trying to prove who was more angry than she was in fear. Yeah, no, because I mean, it makes sense. He's trying to prove that she like reached out and scratched and clawed at Miss Ellis. But yeah, so Cardi's doing a good job trying to maintain like, yeah, I was angry, but I was also just more concerned than anything. 3-4 months pregnant, just really not. And this is a woman who is bigger than I am. Just really not trying to get into nothing. So yeah, I think Cardi's doing a good job fielding those questions. Yeah,
I get it. Did you look at Miss Imani Ellis's left cheek at any time during the incident? Did you specifically look for that because you thought there might be a scar on her face? Or did you not look?
Okay. Compound interrogation.
Did you look at Miss Imani Ellis's face when you were arguing with her at the time of the incident?
I was looking at her face, but I wasn't looking like, she got a pimple on her face? No, I wasn't looking at her details or anything.
So if she had a scar on her face or cut, you wouldn't be able to know because you weren't focusing on it,
Okay.
correct?
Actually, calls for expert testimony relevance.
Assistant. Counsel, she's a fact witness. She didn't see a scar. 121.
You testified yesterday that when you go to get your nails done, you tell your nail person to be careful not to make your nails too sharp. You remember saying that?
Yes.
Do you tell them that every time you go to get your nails done?
Objection relevance.
Assistant.
Did you tell your nail person that before you had your nails done, just before this incident?
I didn't have to because of the shape. So the shape that I had that week, it wasn't like a shape that is like hardening. It was like a square coffin shape. So it didn't have like no points or like sharp edges and stuff like that. I mean, there's pictures of me of that week everywhere. So
Do you have a picture now with you?
do you? You're the plaintiff.
yes,
The nails that you have on now, are they sharp and pointy?
I don't consider them that. No,
You consider them pointy.
no.
Can those nails that you have on now, can they become sharp to the point where they could cut somebody if you were to scratch them?
Relevance.
Assistant.
Did you see any skin or any blood underneath your fingernail
Good question.
after the incident? Any of your fingernail?
There was no physical incident for me to even see nothing like that.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if you saw anything.
Say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did any of your fingernails break after the incident?
Nope.
No.
All 10 of them were in perfect condition?
Yes.
When you went to see the doctor, Dr. Finky, did he look at your fingernails? Did he go over that with you?
No.
Did you even bring it up to him?
No. I just told him like, it's like, this is your security. This is your security.
Besides your chest-to-chest touching, did anything else touch?
And that'll be good to get the doctor's testimony to basically corroborate that fact. It's like, what was Cardi B? What was her reaction immediately after the fact? Was it clear that she was like hot and needed to calm down, or was it more that she was like what she just said? It's like, oh, this is really y'all security?
No.
Okay. And you're a firstborn child?
To my mother, yes.
Okay. And you have other siblings? Other brothers and sisters?
Mm-hmm.
Said yes, ma'am. Said yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. And as you testified yesterday that the baby in your stomach that was 4 months or 3 to 4 months old was your first child, correct? Mm-hmm. And you've had other children, correct?
After? Yes.
The only relevance.
Assistant.
Yeah. Again, like I just said, like we've got a 1 minute interaction here. There's only so many facts that are really relevant that she can testify to. I would have probably even started objecting at, are you the firstborn child of your family? Like, what does that have to do with this 1 minute of interaction that we had here?
Okay. Now, back to the words. I asked you yesterday if you used the N-word, if you called Miss Imani Ellis the N-word. You said you did not, correct?
No, I didn't.
But you've said that word before in your lifetime, correct?
Objection relevance.
Yeah,
And
objection.
in your music, you actually say it many times, correct?
Objection.
Presented.
Also, once again, there was a pretrial motion where reference to her prior music, art, literature, potential gang affiliations, all that was excluded. So now he's explicitly running afoul of the pretrial motion once again, which he already did with his like third question to Cardi B, which was, "Are you affiliated with the gang?" Like, yeah, this, and he said, "I swear it's not intentional." Yeah. Good luck convincing the judge on that one.
Do you know what the word ghetto means?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did Miss Imani Ellis call you ghetto?
I don't remember.
If someone called you ghetto, would that make you angry?
Objection, relevance.
Over.
Me?
Yeah.
If somebody calls me ghetto? It depends on how you're using it, but I don't really feel offended if you call me ghetto.
Did Imani Ellis tell you that you're stupid?
Your Honor, relevance.
No, this,
Overruled.
yeah, this is relevant.
I really don't remember. She did. She was cursing at me though.
What were the words that she used?
You're gonna get the fuck out of my building. You're gonna get the fuck out of my building. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then it's like when I was telling her, it's like, why you was crying? She's like, it's my fucking phone. It's my phone. You're in my building. That's what she was telling me. And she was like, oh yeah. She also was saying like, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Okay. And you remember her telling you that?
I remember that.
Those exact words?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
did that make you angry?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. When you get angry, you black out and maybe not realize what happens next.
Objection.
Do you know if you blacked out on the date of the incident? At any time?
I think
Sustained.
All right. And when you were yelling back and forth, and you were speaking and yelling and screaming, you were, correct?
excuse me?
You were yelling and screaming at each other,
Yes.
correct? When you were doing that, did your spit come out of your mouth and go onto Imani Ellis?
I don't think so. No.
But it's possible, right? Because when you're speaking, sometimes you use many, many words, the spit comes out, correct?
Objection.
You agree with this?
I'm sorry, objections?
Well, relevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
No, yeah, that's
Okay.
relevant.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think it'd be happening. I don't know.
Could it be that Miss Imani Ellis was not recording you with her phone? Is that a possibility?
Objection called for speculation.
Sustained.
Aside from what you've just told us now about the recording, is there anything else that you have? Any other testimony about how you know Miss Imani Ellis was recording you with her phone?
She told me when I told her, why are you recording me? She said, oh, my bad. She practically apologized.
Did she apologize to you?
If you're saying, oh, my bad, when I'm telling you why you're recording me, to me, that means you're recording me. And it's right there, right now. It's on my face.
Well,
Not on my face, literally on my face. I'm trying to be as detailed as possible, but she had it right here on her chest, like this.
and when Miss Imani Ellis told you to leave the building, you refused to leave, correct?
Correct.
And at that point, you were trespassing, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, objection.
Where did you go? Did you leave the building? Did you go to your doctor's office? Where did you go next?
To my doctor's office.
And where did Miss Imani Ellis go?
I don't know.
Did she see you walk into the doctor's office?
Objection called for speculation.
Sustained.
Did you see Miss Imani Ellis when you walked into your doctor's office?
Did I saw her?
Right.
Who was arguing? The receptionist came out. She got in between us. They were like, kind of like, she was like trying to calm her down. The doctor was already coming out, and he's like, go to my office. So I'm like, after that, I just went to his office and I never seen her again.
Okay. And when this, how long after, from the moment you saw Miss Imani Ellis, how long after did the Dr. Finky come out of his office? Was it in the middle, towards the end? Can you give us an estimate of time?
Can you repeat that a little bit?
Sure. So, just for argument's sake, I'm going to estimate the time was 2 minutes. I'm not saying it was. It could have been half a minute. Just for argument. So during the 2 minutes that you and her were outside in the hallway, screaming at each other, whatever you're doing, for those 2 minutes, how long after the 2 minutes, or sorry, how long from the beginning of the 2 minutes to the end did Dr. Finky come in? So he could have came in at 59 seconds, 119 seconds, 1 second. Do you understand my question?
But it wasn't 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Time out. Sorry. Go ahead.
It wasn't.
I'll withdraw the question.
All right.
Let's do it again. How many seconds, I need to know this, how many seconds were you and Miss Imani Ellis in the hallway? Let's just pick a time. You pick.
I'll say from like the beginning all the way to like walking down, it had to be like a minute or less.
Okay.
Like,
And you say walking down, you mean walking into Dr. Finky's office or leaving the building?
excuse me?
When you say walking down where?
Remember, I got off the elevator, so I'm walking, trying to find the room, the office. So in between that was like the minute there. Like after, like the verbal dispute, it had to be like 20 seconds of that
Fine. When did Dr. Finky come out of his office?
at the end.
When it was all done, correct?
Well, when Tiara was calming down, she was still like screaming and like trying to explain herself to Tiara. I just walked away.
All right. When you got off the elevator, was there anyone else in that hallway or in that vicinity?
No.
And how long did it take before Tiara came out?
How long did it take?
And that's Tiara Malcolm.
Yes.
What's your best estimate?
like 40 seconds at most, or like 50 seconds, like around there. I don't know.
So you and Miss Imani Ellis were alone for approximately 40 to 50 seconds before anybody came out into the hallway.
Yes.
These are good
And
questions.
in those 40 to 50 seconds, anything could have happened.
Objection.
Right?
Yeah, not
You could
anything.
have scratched her face. You could have cut her face in those 40 seconds.
We're not going to engage in speculation. If you have fact questions, ask her. Please do so.
When you had the fingernails on that day, what color were the fingernails? Do you remember?
They were like
Green?
no, they were like orangey.
And you said that there were some kind of flat stones on there?
Yes.
Were those flat stones on all 10 fingernails?
Most likely, yes.
Were the 10 fingernails all the same size and had the same exact stones on them? Mm-hmm. So if there was one stone,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
if there was one stone, it would be one stone times 10? Or is one might have 3 stones, another one may have 1 stone? Do the stones change?
Objection. Vague, ambiguous, false, or speculation.
What do you call them? The things that you said yesterday, what did you call them that were on your fingernail?
Flat rhinestone.
Flat rhinestones. Were any of them sharp?
Not if they're flat, they're not sharp. If they're like 3D, like popping up, they sharp. But if they're flat, they're not sharp.
Okay. And do you ever wear the ones that are 3D?
Objection, relevance.
Were you wearing the ones that were 3D on the date of the incident?
No.
At any time?
Nope.
And how do you know that those rhinestones that are 3D, how do you know they're sharp? Why did you just tell us that now?
Why are we talking about things that she didn't testify she was wearing?
Yep. Move on.
Do you remember how many rhinestones were on each fingernail? If it was 1, 2, or 3?
Objection, abstention.
Same.
Aside from that day, the date of the incident, which was February 24th of 2018, aside from that day, have you ever seen Miss Imani Ellis either before or after that day?
No. Honest truth, I wouldn't even recognize. Like I totally forgot how she looked until I came here again. Like
Well, isn't everything you just told us the honest truth?
yes.
Now, when Miss Tiara Malcolm came outside, she came outside, it was about 40 to 50 seconds, and she came out first, right? Mm-hmm. How long after that?
Yes.
How long after that piece did the doctor come out? Because he came out after her, right? They didn't come out together, did they?
Taking it
Tiara?
as a piece.
I withdraw. Piece of time. But anyway, when Tiara Malcolm came outside, did she come by herself or with the doctor or someone else?
She came out
It's like-
by herself.
His line of questioning is not inherently bad all the time. Sometimes it is just terrible. But like here, these are good details to actually try and get out. It's just the way he's trying to get them out are just so bad. Like asking the question just the worst possible way with compound questions, trying to fit squeeze arguments into the questions, trying to quibble about details that are just completely irrelevant. It's like focus on the meat of like what is important here, and you'll be so much better for it. But yeah, who am I? What do I know, right?
So how long after she came out did the doctor come out?
He came out like 4 to 5 seconds later, 3 seconds later.
When Tiara Malcolm came outside, how did she get between the two of you if you were chest to chest?
Wedged her way.
She literally she was like, "What are you guys doing? What's going on? And what's going on?" And then she goes like, "This bitch just fucking hit me. This bitch just hit me. I'm about to fuck her up." And I'm just like, I was so confused because it's like, no, I didn't. Like, I didn't hit you. And then that's when like Finky came out, and he's like, what's going on? Go to my office. So I just like went to his office and stuff like that. Like that's it. It's done.
Right, but you testified that Tiara Malcolm at some point was in between the two of you.
Yes.
You got a hamburger bun and a hamburger?
Yeah.
She was a hamburger, and the two of you were the buns, correct?
Yeah.
How did the hamburger get
What?
inside the bun?
What are these questions?
I'm not sure if I gave her space or one of us gave her space. She wasn't like really like in. She was just like, "What are you guys doing? What is this?" And then she just got in the middle because she just was like going crazy. I don't know where she just turned up like.
And you just testified now that Imani Ellis was yelling that you hit her, right?
Yes.
She was saying that. And you didn't hit her.
No.
Did you take a swing at her?
No.
When Miss Tiara Woods was in between the two of you, did you try to take a swing over Miss Tiara Woods?
No.
How tall are you?
I don't know who Charlie Woods is, but
Tiara Malcolm, I apologize. Tiara Malcolm. How tall are you? How tall are you?
How tall I am?
Yeah.
5'3".
Okay, how about on that day of the incident when you had your shoes on? Were they flats? Were they heels? What was it?
Most likely flats.
So, and do you know how tall Miss Imani Ellis is?
No.
When you were standing face to face, were your eyes like the same level? Or did she look taller? Did she look shorter? What is your recollection?
She we was face to face, so she's practically like my height, or just much taller, but she was practically like my height. But she is like
What? Hey?
security heavy.
Security
What does security
heavy.
heavy mean? Just tell us. There's no harm. What does that mean?
Like she just looks a little like she could protect a building. Type B. You know what I'm saying? She just
Right.
looked more developed than me.
And aren't security guards to be more developed than you?
Bro. Good. Is it good? I mean, maybe not good in the sense that if you're trying to say that you weren't making fun of her weight at all on the day of, then maybe not good to be making these like jokey implications about her weight here. But I think all things considered, for us as the unbiased, neutral observers that are just watching for entertainment, awesome. Love to see it. Great stuff. What is wrong with this lawyer? I don't know. It's been like this all 3 days. This lawyer has just been completely dropping the ball every which way from Sunday. And, whew, yeah, he's getting dog walked by both the defense lawyer and the judge. Did you say the receptionist should testify? Yeah. So the receptionist, my understanding, is going to testify in this recording. The judge ruled that he's going to allow her to testify, and the defense lawyer said that she is available to testify only in the morning. She can't do it in the afternoon. So my guess is she's probably next. Yeah, I'm assuming this is her next. So yeah, we'll be getting to her next.
Did you at any time tell Miss Imani Ellis that you were pregnant?
No.
That building, you agree, is not Cedars-Sinai Hospital, correct?
Objection, my position. Also, this is covered.
I withdraw.
Yes.
The building you were in was a medical building, correct?
Yes.
But it wasn't a hospital.
No.
Was it a hospital?
No.
And there's all type of different tenants that are in the building, right?
Objection, my submission.
Do you know if there were other tenants that had offices in that building?
Objection,
It's the same.
You were on the 5th floor, correct?
Yes.
And when you were walking down the hall, there were other doors there, correct? It wasn't just Dr. Finky, there
Objection,
was other
relevant.
different offices there, correct?
Objection, relevant.
It's the same.
When you were getting angry, did you believe that your anger would harm your baby?
Objection, relevant.
Objection.
When you
yeah.
went to see Dr. Finky, did you tell him, I got so angry right now, something happened, whatever you told, is it harmful to my baby? Did you ask him?
It's the same.
Objection.
Counsel, anything in there?
Earlier, well, I'll withdraw that. Did you post anything about the incident of February 24, 2018 on the internet?
Objection, relevant.
I think I said something because around that time she did went live and said something, and my fans caught it, and she was just practically saying like all of these lies about me and stuff like that. And I was like, I did not touch that girl at all. I never really got into details
So
about
here's
it.
the thing. If she did a live, do we get a recording of that? Do we get a screenshot picture showing, oh my gosh, look, she's got a scar on her face from this incident where Cardi B scratched her and left a scar? Like, there's so much that the plaintiff is just missing that it's just not being shown to the jury. That's why I keep coming down and keep saying there's just no way she's going to get held liable for any of this.
And when she was posting things, she was telling other people that you assaulted her or hit her or did something physical, correct?
Objection, relevant.
Yes.
And then you replied and posted things as well, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember what you posted?
It was. I don't think I posted something. I'm not even sure if it was a comment or like if I did like a live or something. It had to be quick. I was like, that's a fucking lie. Fuck out of here. Trying to get some money.
What was that?
I said, that's a fucking lie. Fuck out of here. Just trying to get some money.
Who's trying to get some money?
She is.
How do you know that?
Because she sued me for $24 million.
Did you sue her?
No.
Could you have sued her?
Objection, relevant.
That's the dollar
Did
amount.
you-
I don't know if that's just what the demand letter was, or maybe like when they're negotiating, it's like, hey, we'll settle this case for $24 million. But even if Cardi B is to be found liable here, I don't see a world where the jury's giving her anywhere close to $24 million. Like, they probably give the girl enough to cover her medical expenses, and then maybe some emotional pain and suffering damages. But yeah, cursing on the stand should be prohibited. I agree, and it generally is. I think what she was saying here was she was recounting what she said in the past, like what did she post about the incident. But yeah, I agree. And yeah, it generally is, and even among the lawyers too, which is why you'll usually hear them caveat it before they say it's like, and excuse my language, but blah, blah, blah. But yeah, but there have been a few times where Cardi B has cursed a couple times, I think not out of a, yeah, here's what I said back then. Yeah, which that's why I keep going back to if she needs to remain cool, calm, and collected to appear the best she possibly can to the jury, yeah. She wants some cheese on her Whopper. Don't think I know what that means, but I'm going to agree with it anyway. Yeah, she totally wants some cheese on her Whopper.
Do you ever apologize on those?
Unless you're talking about money. The cheese is money. She wants some extra. Okay, I think I got it now. See, I'm a little slow, but I catch up eventually.
Internet or emails or whatever you posted, did you ever on the posts apologize for anything that you did that day?
Objection, relevance.
Do you feel by using all those words you should have apologized?
Objection.
Are you aware that your security guard spoke to Imani Ellis in the lobby shortly after this incident? Are you aware of that?
My explanation.
I'm not aware of that. He didn't tell me he talked to her.
Are you aware that your security guard, Karan Newton, on the day of the incident, apologized to Miss Ellis on your behalf?
Objection.
Did your security guard tell you that he apologized to Miss Ellis on your behalf at any time?
Objection. Asked and answered. Argumentative. Last Sunday.
Have you ever been assaulted and battered in your life?
Objection, Your Honor.
Have you ever been abused in your life?
Counsel, if you're out of questions, you can ask the question.
Did you know that by your actions, you took away the feeling of safety?
Yeah, why would she apologize? Security guard went live first. Yeah, no need to. I agree. Yeah, no need for her to apologize. Yeah, she was just sitting there. She's like, I don't even know what really happened there, but I'm just kind of over it. I'm moving on. But now this girl's going live, trying to gin up some drama. Which even then, let's keep all this in context of the fact that she submitted, when it actually came time to put down what actually happened and submit it to her boss in relation to her job, she was talking about how she was an active participant, she was partially an instigator, and she apologized to her boss for causing the situation. So, yeah, singing two different tunes. When you're talking to Instagram, singing one tune, but when you're talking to your boss, singing a completely separate tune.
For Imani Ellis?
All right. Counsel?
Yes, sir.
Are you done?
I have a few more questions.
Have them be fact-based?
Yes, sir. And do you agree that this incident, which we're talking about, and why we're all here today, occurred 7.5 years ago? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, that's 2,741 days ago, based on my math.
Yeah, what?
How do you remember all of these details that you gave us from 2,741 days ago?
Objection. Has to be made.
Over.
Yeah.
What is she even supposed to say to that? It's like, how do you remember all these details? It's like, because I was there and I just do, like, I don't know what you want me to say to that.
I remember like the basics. I don't remember like the whole. I remember the basics. Like it was, but it's not really much to remember. It was a in and out thing.
All right, and have you ever used your nails to scratch yourself? Like if you get a bug bite? Have you ever done that before?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Sustained.
Did you have any jewelry on you at the time of the incident, whether it was on your hands or your neck?
Objection. Has to be answered. Relevance.
Sustained.
So relevant. Why does the neck jewelry matter?
When you were in the hallway, did you block Miss Ellis from leaving? Even if it was for 1 second.
No.
Did she block you from leaving?
Yes. She blocked me from moving. She was right in my face. She was right in my face.
Okay. And when you were standing there, were you were you facing Dr. Finky's office or a different side? Do you understand the question?
Objection. Negative.
I withdraw the question. When this whole thing happened, did you start to move around in a circle, or were you standing physically the same spot the whole time?
Objection. Has to be answered. I think you're covered.
Sustained.
Yeah.
When you say that she was blocking you, were you facing towards Dr. Finky's office? Yes?
Sustained.
Like, here's the way you ask this question. I get what he's trying to ask, but he just keeps asking it in the dumbest way possible. Like, if she said that Imani Ellis was blocking her, ask her, was she standing between you and the elevator? She can say, no. Was she standing between you and Dr. Finky's office? Yeah. Like, whatever the answer would be to that. Like, that's how you ask it. Don't ask the way Cardi was facing, because she's probably not going to remember which way she was facing, because there's a big woman right in front of her, chest to chest with her. So ask her, yeah, was she between you and the elevator? That'd be my question.
Karan Newton, how long was he your security guard as of the day of the incident? For how long?
Objection relevant.
Would you consider yourself a peaceful person?
Objection.
And after you saw Dr. Finky, you spent about 15 minutes with him, you left the building, correct?
Yes.
When you left the building, did you see Imani Ellis as you were exiting?
No.
Did you see your security guard downstairs?
Yes.
And he was in the lobby area waiting for you?
That's the answer.
Sustained.
Okay. And when you left the building, you went to the parking lot, or was the car waiting for you outside?
That's irrelevant.
Sustained.
What does any of this have to do with the interaction between her and Imani Ellis?
Aside from Tiara Malcolm and Dr. Finky and Imani Ellis, who were in that hallway, were there any other people there?
No.
Did any other doctors come up to that floor?
No.
You're sure?
Absolutely not.
How are you sure?
Objection.
Sustained.
When you were in the 5th floor, did anybody come from the stairwell up to hear what happened? If you know if anyone did.
I thought you were done.
I'll withdraw it. I will ask it differently. When you were up there outside the hallway with Imani Ellis, did you see anyone else, whether it was a security guard, another doctor, or someone else, come up from the stairwell, which was close to the elevator area?
Objection. That's the answer.
Sustained.
I forgot to ask you one thing about when you were chest to chest. Did you ever touch Imani Ellis's face or nose with your finger?
No.
You never touch her nose like this?
No.
It's crazy. That's the one thing he forgot to ask, when it's like, that's the key fact of, like, she's claiming that she was scratched so hard that it left a scar. And of all these stupid details he's trying to get her on, the one he forgot to ask, he had to circle back to, was the actual one key material fact of the case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so we're going to take our morning recess. I'm going to start back up at 10:50. In the meantime, please do not discuss the case with anyone, including the jurors. So call me accused of being research. We'll see you at 10:50.
Brutal, man. Terrible job of the plaintiff's lawyer.
Parties are present, as are the members of our jury and our alternate. Folks, as you may remember, we interrupted the testimony of the plaintiff during her testimony in order to call an out-of-order witness. At this point in time, we're going to suspend the testimony of Ms. Almanzar in order to call a defense witness out of order. So we're going to suspend the plaintiff's case in chief at this point in time. We're going to call a defense witness, and who is that going to be?
Your Honor, it's going to be Tiara now.
All right, thank you.
All right, here we go. The receptionist. Oh, let me change my comment.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause not going to be before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Tiara Malcolm. Spell it?
Yes, please.
Tierra. Malcolm, Malcolm.
Great. Thank you. You may take a seat. Please watch your step.
Okay.
What, counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Ms. Malcolm. My name is Peter Anderson, and we just have a few questions. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Where were you working in February of 2018?
Women's care, OBGYN doctor's office.
Thank you.
Lawyers are just as messy as security seems to be. Yeah, maybe, it's a match made in heaven. That the plaintiff found herself a good lawyer who good lawyer that's gonna really represent her interests, because they operate in the same way and they're moving in the same way. Yeah.
And do you recall an encounter between Cardi B and the woman to my left?
Yes.
Okay. What was your position at the doctor's office in February 2018?
A receptionist, front office.
Okay. And did Cardi B have an appointment that day?
Yes.
Was it a Saturday?
Yes.
Was there, to your knowledge, were there any other offices that were open that day?
No.
And do you remember the time of the appointment?
It was the end of, we purposely closed, so we had early day, maybe between 12 and 1, I'm assuming.
Okay. And what do you mean by purposefully closed?
For Cardi B. We didn't want anyone there.
To maintain privacy?
Yes.
Oh. Talk about Cadillac service. Yeah, the Cadillac package. Close down the whole office just for Cardi B. Oh, yeah. So, once again, just a quick preview on the witness. Not expecting too many details as far as it's, once again, a very short factual or set of facts that we're talking about here. But we are getting some important, relevant context about just the whole situation. And even that, and also the fact that she's got no dog in this fight. She has no interest. She doesn't care who wins or loses. She's just here to say what she remembers happening. And in that front, she's a very valuable witness for us in trying to figure out, if we're sitting in the shoes of the jury right now, us figuring out what actually happened here so we can decide how we're going to judge the outcome of the case. So, very important witness. Very happy to see that she is testifying.
So, to your knowledge, how did you learn that there was an encounter between the two?
Well, I was waiting for Cardi B's arrival, and I heard commotion out in the hallway. And there was a door to exit right where I was sitting. So I opened the door and I looked, and I heard and saw the commotion, and that's how I learned that something was going on outside.
Could you please describe for the jury what you heard and saw when you opened the door?
I saw them in the corner, Cardi B's back to the wall, and just a lot of arguing and, just confrontation.
Okay.
Okay, so on the one fact is good. Cardi B backed up against the wall because you're putting her in a position where she's pregnant. She's there trying to be discreet, and now you've literally backed her up into a wall as a bigger person. So that's a favorable fact for sure. Now, unfavorable fact is going to be the finger pointing. That is not helpful for Cardi B at all right now.
Do you recall anything that plaintiff Ms. Ellis said?
It was just very argumentative as far as, cursing and, just be this, be that. I don't know if I can curse, but...
So we've heard just about everything so far.
Okay.
It's been one of those trials.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I immediately walked over there and got in between them and was like, whoa, what's, my thing was I'm at work, so the first thing that really came out of my mouth is to Miss Ellis, just as far as, what are you doing? You're at work, go back to your post. And then I don't know how long it was, but I couldn't get her. I just wanted everything to go away. I just was trying to calm everything down, take Cardi B into the office, and and I was trying to go. It was my sister's baby shower, so I was trying to get out of there. But I mean, that wasn't on my mind then, but just to calm the situation down and get her into the office.
How did Ms. Ellis respond?
Yeah, so she didn't see it from the very beginning. Where's that person footage? Yeah, sounds like there is none. There is no person that saw it from the beginning. There is no footage that captured what happened. This is the first person to get involved after it started. And so, yeah, this is the best we're going to get, it would seem, as far as who saw what. After that, though, it comes down to, okay, what does the evidence show? And specifically, there's an allegation here of a serious injury, a scar. Does the results, does the outcome match the allegation? So what she's saying here, even if we're saying that there's a finger pointing going on and up in the face, we still are. She's got to establish here. The plaintiff is really hoping that she's going to establish here that there was some sort of downward swiping motion, because that's the only way you're getting a vertical, 3 lines vertical down the face like that. Because if it's pointing, the pointing is going to maybe glance off and go like that. But to get down, you just got a big up and down motion. But we're not getting any of that out of this witness.
I don't even know if she heard what I asked, because it was just more of just being upset. And no, I'm not going to do that. And just, them still exchanging words even with me. And
Yeah. Was Ms. Ellis yelling at Cardi B?
I mean, it was pretty loud for me to hear. It was still the same volume from when I couldn't hear them while I was in the office down the hall. So I would say so.
Was Ms. Ellis cursing at Cardi B?
There was definitely curse words, yes, on her end.
When you were there, did Ms. Ellis attempt to strike Cardi B?
There was hands going while I was in the middle. I know no one landed, or I was you know, I didn't even realize, I guess it's my adrenaline, that I had a mark on my forehead. So besides me getting a scratch, nobody, as far as them two, hit each other.
Who scratched you?
Based off of, like I said, I didn't know that I even got scratched until I went into the office, and the nurse was like, Tiara, your forehead. But I can only assume Cardi B was behind me, because that was my main concern.
Objection calls for speculation.
So Cardi B was behind you, and you were facing who?
I was facing Miss Ellis.
Oh, so you're saying she slid in between them. Her back was to Cardi B, and she ended up with a scratch to the front of her forehead. Who could that be? Who's got the angle to be scratching at her? Oh man, yeah. I can see why the plaintiff did not want this witness to testify whatsoever.
And you got hit on your forehead and didn't even realize it at that point.
Yeah,
That's right, collateral damage.
Just let him finish the question.
oh, sorry.
And so you got hit, you were facing Miss Ellis, and she was swinging away?
I can say there was definitely, you know, people talking, like, this type of action going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were hit on your forehead,
Yeah, like-
which was facing Miss Ellis, correct?
Yes.
What happened next?
After, you know, just going back and forth, Dr. Finky came out. Once he came out, I believe, after that, I don't even really remember what was said, but I know I continued to take Cardi into the office, to her exam room, and then I went back to the front.
Okay. Did you witness Dr. Finky try to get Miss Ellis to leave the hallway?
Yes, that's what kind of, since he came out and he was talking to her, that's what kind of distracted her, you know, gave us the opportunity to just go into the office.
Okay. And do you recall anything that he said to her?
I think he was on the same temperature as me, just you're at work. Why are you up here? Go back, you know, downstairs. And what are you doing? Type of energy.
Yeah, I would have. If I'm the plaintiff here, I would have objected to that answer for hearsay. Let him say in his own words what he might have said. Don't rely on what she heard through that. Now, granted, if I'm now defending against the hearsay objection, I'm arguing it's not for the truth of the matter asserted. It's just for the effect on the listener. What effect did this have on you? What he was saying, and that way you could get it in that way. But yeah, plaintiff lawyer, he's missing some opportunities to object here potentially.
And so you turned around and...
It's his perfect opportunity to spin up his own objection buzzsaw and hold that up against the defense, but he's missing it. He's missing his opportunity.
escorted Cardi B into the doctor's office?
Yes, I followed behind her to go to the exam room.
When you were face to face with Miss Ellis, I take it you could see her face?
Yes.
Did you see any scratches on her face?
No.
Did you see any cuts on her face?
No.
Did you see any blood on her face?
No.
Did you see any injury at all on her face?
No.
Did you see any spit or spittle on her face?
No.
Did anyone spit in that encounter?
Objection calls for speculation.
While you were there,
While I was there, no.
Did you hear Miss Ellis yell at Cardi B, and excuse my language, I will fuck your shit up?
Some, you know, yeah, something along those words.
Sorry, mom and grandma coming in talking about how their sweet baby, she's the peacemaker. Oh, she's just such a sweet, innocent flower child of the whole moon. But not quite. Sounds like she's got a bit of a bad girl, wild side streak to her. And this is a neutral, objective witness. This girl has no dog in this fight, and this is her recollection that the plaintiff was just as much of an active participant in this altercation. Not the sweet innocent victim she's trying to make herself out to be. The $24 million victim, by the way.
At any point in time in that confrontation, did Cardi B hit Miss Ellis?
No.
At any point in that confrontation, did Cardi B cut Miss Ellis with Cardi's fingernails
Objection calls for speculation.
while you were there?
No.
Especially
Did Cardi
too, if you've got this clear fact established now of she was sitting there, she was breaking it up between them, and little facts like these become so important. That's why the details matter. For her to slide in between them, for her back to Cardi, front to the plaintiff, you're talking about now she's basically face to face with the plaintiff, so she's right there to see and observe if there's spit on her, if there's scratches on her, if she's bleeding. She's right there. She's got the best vantage point out of everybody to see. If she would have had her back to the plaintiff, face to Cardi, then you can try and build in some doubt on behalf of the plaintiff of saying, yeah, she said there was a fight, but like she really didn't get a good look at my client here, at the plaintiff. So, but she was there, and she was able to see clearly into her face. And if we're talking about a scratch that was still visible 4 years later, like, that's going to show up. That's going to be there if it's a fingernail scratch. So the fact that she doesn't recall seeing that is a huge fact here.
Did you hear Cardi B use the N-word? Excuse me, I apologize. Yeah, no. Did you hear Cardi B use the N-word? You know what I mean by the N-word?
Yeah, no.
After this encounter and Cardi B had gotten into the doctor's office, at any point after that, did you talk to the building management about what had happened?
Yes, that was a Saturday. So Monday, my supervisor and Dr. Finky wanted to make a report since there was an incident, and the importance of making sure our patients, their privacy isn't compromised. So yeah, they asked me to go downstairs with him or with my supervisor and make a report.
After this incident, did plaintiff call you? Ms. Ellis call you?
It was yes. There was a call transferred to my line, and it was her on the other end of the call.
And remember from day 2, the plaintiff, Amani Ellis, expressly denied ever making this call. This fact was brought up, and she said absolutely, unequivocally, I did not ever try to call the receptionist in trying to put together the workers' comp case. So that was her express representation to the court. And I think the jury was present for that. Maybe they were out by then, but that was her direct representation of that she never spoke to this receptionist ever again. And here she is saying, yeah, actually 2 months later, she did give me a phone call. And let's see if she picked up or not.
How long after the incident? How long after February 24 of 2018?
Maybe, I can't recall exactly, but at least within, 3 months. It wasn't right after, but it wasn't too long after.
Can you tell?
And remember too, it was the plaintiff started putting together. She started exploring her potential workers' comp claim 2 months after, so the timeline matches up. Once again, we're just establishing these consistent timelines, consistent storylines all throughout the entire thing. And so far, the defense's theory of the case is way more consistent with what they're representing to the court and to the jury than the theory of the case that the plaintiff is representing.
Tell us what the sum and substance of that conversation was.
I'm just kind of upset about what happened. She got fired. She couldn't believe that happened and wanted, I guess, to see if I can assist in any way since I was there. I pretty much replied as respectful as I could and just said, this is my place of work and I really can't have anything to do with this.
And was there any other thoughts that you had when she told you, did she tell you she was planning on suing Cardi B?
I don't remember word for word, but based off of our conversation, I assumed that was probably going to be one of her steps. But in my mind, I just was kind of shocked that she was calling based off of what took place. I figured, she was at fault, so that was surprising that she would call me.
Ooh, knife to the heart for the plaintiff. Ooh, yeah. If you've got the neutral witness here stating, yeah, I was surprised. I was very surprised that she called me and said she was talking about suing Cardi B because she was totally the one at fault. Oh man, knife to the heart.
Thank you. Those are all the questions I have.
Okay.
Oh boy, can y'all hear it? Let's see if is that a whirring that we're hearing? Yeah, yikes, plaintiff, exactly. But yeah, y'all hear the spinning up? I think I hear something spinning up over from the defense table. Let's see if it's true for yet another witness.
Thank you all for coming back. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Tiara Malcolm. When Miss Amani Ellis called you several months later and asked you to help her, what is the reason that you chose not to do so?
Well, main reason I didn't.
Why are you asking that question? Sorry. She just gave the answer. It's because she said she believed that the plaintiff was the one who was at fault for the situation. So why are you reminding the jury again that her belief here is that your client, your plaintiff, is the one who's responsible for what happened here? Like, why is this what you're trying to? Are you maybe guys? I've got it figured out actually. The same way we talk about Rock Nation infiltrating and influencing trials like the Tory Lanez trial. Everything comes back to the Tory Lanez trial, I swear. Just like we say that about Rock Nation. Cardi B's label, I don't even know what label it is. They hired the plaintiff's lawyer. I'm not saying, no, I'm just kidding, of course. But it makes sense, though, doesn't it? He's an inside job. He's one of the ops. He was planted in there to nuke the plaintiff's case, Imani Ellis, nuke her case from the inside. I think we've got it figured out. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me, because what other explanation is there for the piss poor job he's doing? Oh my gosh.
I feel like she was in the right. I felt like, based off of her position, working at the office, everything was handled unprofessionally, and going back and forth. No, she didn't work at our office, but clearly Cardi B was a patient going, she had a purpose at that building where she worked at. So I didn't feel, I don't know what I would help her with. I don't think if I told my truth, it would help her. So.
Were you aware that Miss Ellis was a security guard at your building?
Yes.
Do you understand that the security guard is supposed to go from floor to floor to make sure everything is safe? Are you aware of that?
I don't know the rules.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Had you ever seen Miss Ellis on other days aside from the date of the incident? And I will represent to you the date of the incident for purposes of all my questions will be February 24th of 2018.
I believe that was the first day I seen her there.
Okay. When you saw her, when you got to work, did you see her anywhere in the building?
No.
What time did you get to work?
On a Saturday, maybe around 8.
8 a.m.? And have you ever spoken to Miss Ellis before the date of the incident?
No.
Is there any reason why, when you would go to work at the 8920 building, Wilshire Boulevard building, for how long had you been working there before the date of the incident?
For about 7 years, just about.
And during those 7 years, did you see other security guards in the building? And when Miss Ellis's attorneys asked you to cooperate and sign a declaration, did you do that?
Form.
Not a form. Did you ever sign a declaration under penalty of perjury on August 26, 2025, which would be yesterday?
A declaration. Sorry, I'm not.
May I approach you? Sure. Did you give permission to the other side to sign a declaration under penalty of perjury in this case?
Okay.
Yeah, it's already been objected to. Already been sustained.
Have you ever signed any document related to this incident? Did you make any type of formal complaint to the building about this incident?
When my supervisor wanted to make a complaint, since I was there, yeah, that's when I went downstairs with my supervisor.
And who did you make a complaint to?
Douglas Emmett, the property management manager that managed the building.
Okay. And what was your complaint? What did you say?
They just wanted me to tell them what happened and the concern of the privacy of our
objection for mischaracterization. It's not a complaint. It was an incident report, basically just documenting what happened. So yeah, he's trying to frame it as a complaint that that she is biased or she saw it a different way. But yeah, you can object to that for mischaracterization of the evidence.
Are you a Cardi B fan?
Objection.
I know her music.
Actually, no, sorry. I withdraw my objection because, as we've all learned, as I've said over and over again, from the Megan Thee Stallion Tory Lanez trial, and everyone gets really mad when people try and call into question Meg's credibility. Remember, when you're a witness in a case, a fact witness, your credibility is always a question, and you can impeach that really in a lot of different ways. And so, if you've got someone that's supporting now, well, called by the defense, called by Cardi B's side, certainly, yeah, whether or not she's a fan, that does go towards her credibility and whether or not she's biased. So actually, that is a good relevant question here.
I listen to her music, I listen to hip hop.
Okay. And you like her music, right?
Yep, overruled.
Yeah, just talented.
All right. Have you ever gone to any of her concerts?
No.
Have you ever? I'll withdraw that. Okay. And for purposes of the visit on Saturday, the doctor's office decided to close to give her a special appearance to see the doctor, correct? I withdraw the question. When Cardi B came to the office, the purpose of her coming to your office was to see Dr. Finky for medical care, correct?
Yes.
When you went outside into the hallway, the confrontation that you testified about was already occurring before you got there, correct?
Yes, that's what made me go outside.
Right. Do you know for about how long this confrontation was going on before you made your way outside?
I was sitting there waiting, so as soon as I heard the noise, it wasn't that seconds after is when I heard it, so I don't think it was going on that long.
Okay. Did Cardi B, while you were there, in any way...
Which, here's the thing, too. Another big one, like I said earlier, about the wedging in between. These little details, little facts, end up making a huge difference if the allegation here is that Cardi B scratched the plaintiff hard enough to leave a scar, one might think, if you've been scratched in the face so hard that it's gonna leave a scar, is that a low point of the altercation, or is that an escalatory point of the altercation? What I'm trying to get at here is because right, there was a little bit of time here where no one was there other than the plaintiff and Cardi B. Just a little bit of time, no one saw what happened between them. Let's just assume for a second that what the plaintiff said is true. Cardi B did scratch her and scratched her hard enough to leave a scar. Is that really the peak of the encounter there? Is it going down from there where it's de-escalating from there? Or would that be like the inflection point where, oh, you just scratched me, we're fighting now, like actually fighting? So, yeah, the fact that when the receptionist, I mean, she said she went out seconds later, just seconds. She went out seconds after she heard the commotion start, and she was able to see they were basically they're chest to chest. Cardi B was backed up against a wall by a bigger woman. So it seems logically impossible that what the plaintiff alleges happened actually happened, because if that truly did happen, the receptionist would have gone out to see two women fighting, not just in each other's face yelling. So yeah, little details, little facts like that become super important. And yeah. So the timeline here is one of those little facts, and the conduct during the timeline, yeah, really important.
Touch Miss Ellis?
No.
Did Miss Ellis in any way touch Cardi B while you were there?
No.
When you got there, were they chest to chest? Were they touching chest to chest?
I couldn't really see Cardi B because she was kind of cornered with her back against the wall. I really just saw Miss Ellis in front of her, and that's what made me rush and get in between them.
Okay. And when you say you saw her back against the wall, how were you able to see her back from where you were standing?
Objection, spiritual.
Were you assuming that, I withdraw the question, were you assuming that Cardi B's back was up against the wall when you saw that?
No, I'm not assuming. I could see it because I literally looked down the hall when I opened the door.
And was Cardi B's back actually touching the wall, or was close to the wall?
I don't know if it was touching her. It was close. So I didn't.
And you know that this incident happened 7.5 years ago, correct?
Yes,
And
that's
you
why I
remember all
don't
these-
remember if her back was touching or inches away, but I know it was very close to the wall.
And it was a very long time ago, so how did you remember all these details? Did you write them down somewhere? Did you record it, or is this just off of memory from 7.5 years ago?
I just remember. There's certain things I remember when I was 4. I just remember because it was a confrontation, and I was sitting there ready to go because I had to drive all the way to Tarzana, and it was a story that I had to my sister coming back, like, you can't believe why I was late type of story. Right. So,
And your purpose of coming here is to help Cardi B or help Miss Ellis?
my purpose is to
Objection.
tell the truth.
Of course.
That's my purpose.
And when Miss Ellis or her attorney tried to reach out to you, you refused to speak with them, correct? But when Cardi B's attorneys spoke to you and reached out to you, you talked to them immediately and you signed a declaration for them on the spot, correct?
Objection.
When you were there and you got in between the two of them, I want you to think of it like a hamburger bun. You're the hamburger and the two of them are the buns. How did you get in between them?
Dude loves his hamburger bun analogy. Jeez.
Did you physically push them apart? Did they magically back up from one another? How did you get in between them? How?
Just like you said, it was 7 years ago. So I'm walking upset because of what I'm seeing, and that's just how I am when I see. I mean, it's not like I see it all the time, but seeing what was going on, I just immediately. That's just what I did. I didn't really think about. I didn't really have a plan. That's just what I did to try to calm it down.
Okay. And Miss Ellis, who's sitting to my left, you heard her cursing at Cardi B on the date of the incident?
Yes,
You actually heard profanity.
I actually heard profanity.
I like this witness. Yeah, no, this is a really good witness for really both sides. It's a good witness if you're interested in the truth, which everyone should be. The judge is interested in the truth. The jury is very interested in the truth because they're the ones who have to decide, how they're going to rule, how they're going to vote in this case. So this is the exact kind of witness that a jury is going to love. And the fact that she is coming off credible, coming off truthful, and even answered that question very, very gracefully of like, I'm not here to help either side. I'm here to tell the truth. And the truth, as I understand it, was the reason why I didn't help her, the plaintiff in the past, was she was the one that was at fault for this. She was the one that was responsible. So, yeah, of course I'm not going to help her with her workers' comp claim. And now we're up in this lawsuit, this clown show. And, yeah, it's, no, this is a really good witness for the jury right now.
Any different way?
Yes.
How do you know it wasn't Cardi B that was using the profanity?
They have two different voices.
Was Cardi B using any profanities on the day of the incident?
Yeah, she was upset.
Did she use profanities?
Profanity, yes.
F word,
Curse words?
bitch, F you, all that, correct?
Yes.
And you don't really know what happened before you got there, correct? You have no way of knowing.
I wasn't there before I got there.
So if there was any physical contact, whether it was spitting,
Oh, that's a wise quote. I wasn't there before I got there. If anyone's not here, say not here. I gotta put that on a shirt. I'm gonna make merchandise out of that. I wasn't there before I got there.
scratching or cutting someone's face, you wouldn't know that because you weren't there during that time period before you got there, correct? Do you understand my question? Let me withdraw it. In the let's just call it the 40.
How many times? It's like he knows as he's asking it. Like, yeah, I'm probably about to get objected to, so I'm already thinking like, okay, what's another way I can phrase it? And then he gets it out, he gets objected to, and then he withdraws it just immediately. Like, oh, I'll withdraw it. I'll ask it again a different way. It's like, I'm convinced now. I think the plaintiff's lawyer, I think it was an inside job. I think he's an op. Yeah. Watch us find that out like 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
40 to 50 seconds while there was a confrontation. I'll give you that estimated time. During the 40 to 50 minutes of seconds when they had their confrontation, you would have no way of knowing what happened during that duration of time because you weren't there. Is that fair?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I only heard.
So anything could have happened, right?
Speculation.
Correct?
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Imani Ellis could have hit Cardi B.
She wasn't there.
Okay, I withdraw it. When you saw Cardi B that day, you spent time with her, right? In your medical office, correct?
Not a lot of time, but I spent the time from taking her to her exam room, making sure she was okay, and once the last patient was checked in, I was out of there.
Okay. And how long did you stay with her?
Not that long, maybe a minute, if that.
When the patient went,
When we went into the, just to make sure, when we went into the office, how long did I spend with her? Yeah, maybe.
15 minutes, half an hour?
No, I was still ready to go. Maybe a minute.
Did you notice that she was wearing, do you notice that she had fingernails? Did you look at her fingernails?
I don't remember that.
Did you notice that Cardi B had long fingernails on the day of the incident?
Objection. Yeah.
Did you see the size of Cardi B's fingernails on the day of the
Objection.
incident?
That's an answer.
I don't remember her having.
She's already said she doesn't know.
And have you ever seen her before? Does she wear long fingernails?
I don't know what she wears.
On the date of the incident, would you agree that because you did not look at her fingernails, you have no idea as to how long the fingernails were on the date of the incident? Is that true?
False or speculation, like submission.
When you said that you saw arms flying, you also testified a moment ago that you weren't sure whose arms were flying, correct?
Mr. Testimony.
I believe I stated I was facing Miss Ellis, so Cardi B was behind me.
Right.
So I could only see the arms that were flying in front of me. I can't recall. She was behind me, so
Right.
I think I would have felt something behind me.
Okay. So if Cardi B had taken a swing, you would not be able to see that.
Most likely I would. Oh, sorry.
See, I'm not talking about feeling. Would you agree that because Cardi B was behind you, if she took a swing without touching your body, you would not be able to see that? True?
This characteristic the testimony and is false or speculation.
I didn't see her hands flying on the side of me.
I understand that. So again, I would like to know the answer to this question.
What was your question? I'm sorry, I
Of
forgot.
course. So the question is, because you were facing Imani Ellis, you have no idea what Cardi B was doing at that moment, right?
Objection.
So if Cardi B was...
she could feel her.
Pretty much like the back of the chair. That's how close she was to me.
I
So
understand.
I didn't feel anything or see any hands come from behind me.
Understood. But if Cardi B took a swing, because you were not facing her, and you were focusing on Imani Ellis, and you don't have that eyes that came from the
No, I
back of
didn't
your
see
head,
her hands.
you would not be able to know what she was doing.
Right.
So if she took a swing, you wouldn't be able to know. Fair?
Okay, yeah. I can see.
She's like, yeah, whatever, sure.
As far as the... What would you characterize the...
The jury understands. Like the jury, once again, juries can be really dumb sometimes, but most of the time I feel like the collective knowledge between them is pretty solid, and that's all. I like to think that. It's that belief that makes the whole system work. That we trust. Cardi B is trusting $24 million of, well, that's the number she got sued for supposedly, but let's just use that number. She's trusting $24 million to these 12 random people she's never met before, who has to sit there in judgment of her and her actions on this day. So, but the jury, I think they can look at something like this. They can look at, like, okay, he's trying to get her on, oh, well, you wouldn't have seen the swing. It's like, okay, she obviously would have felt it, or there would have been some sort of intuitive sense of what Cardi B was doing. She's saying she didn't feel any of that. So, like, can we just move on?
Injury to your forehead.
A cut. It was just bleeding a little bit.
It was bleeding.
Yes.
Okay.
She should
How did that
sue.
cut get there? I withdraw the question. Did that scratch or cut or anything get there at the time of this incident?
Yes, it definitely wasn't there before I went outside.
Okay. So now we're going to get into this. There's only 3 options, and you could add more if you want, but I'm going to give you 3. The cut came from you, the cut came from Ellis, or the cut came from Cardi B. Or make up your own. Where did the cut come from? And if you don't know, you can say, I don't know. Do you know?
It definitely didn't come from me.
Okay, so that's out. You got 2 more.
And
Ellis and Cardi B. Or
Cardi
your own.
was behind me, so the only assumption that I had was it was from Miss Ellis because she was facing.
Like, why are you asking this? Why would you ever ask this question? It's like the obvious answer. If either she knows affirmatively that it was Amani Ellis, or she doesn't know. At which point, where the best logical assumption you can make is that it would be from Amani Ellis because she's the one who's facing her. She's the only one with the angle to actually hit her on the forehead. Like, why? What this guy's? It's an inside job. It's an inside job. I've come to terms with that. I've made my peace with that. Cardi B was never in any trouble. They had it all figured out from the beginning. This is all publicity for her to show off some fits, show off some wigs. That's all what this was made for. I figured it out. I've cracked the code. I'm Sherlock Holmes over here.
Okay, but did you ever see Miss Ellis take her fingers or her hand or any other object and cause damage to your head? Did you ever see that?
I seen hands trying to reach over me, so like I said, the adrenaline and everything was going so fast. But being that she was in front of me and hands were going like this, that's the only realistic assumption I can have.
I know macrograms. You have not missed much. It's been, I mean, more of the same from yesterday. Just continue. It's more of the same. The objection buzzsaw is in full effect, and but I've concluded, right. I don't know if you just heard. I've figured it out. He's an inside job. Or this whole thing is an inside job. The plaintiff's attorney is an op. He works for Cardi B. I have no basis for any of this other than his behavior at the trial, but that seems to me the only logical conclusion for the explanation for his performance. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he was the ops either.
That's why I got cut.
But you're assuming, correct?
Objection.
You're asking your to assume, counsel.
Are you assuming?
No, objection.
Why don't we move on?
How do you know that Cardi B's fingernail didn't cut your forehead?
Objection, Your Honor. Ask and answer.
Assisting.
Yeah.
She was behind me.
You don't need to answer.
Oh, sorry.
Did Dr. Finky see the cut to your forehead?
I believe so. His nurse is the one who pointed it out.
Did you receive any medical treatment for that cut?
No, I just put some alcohol.
Band-Aid.
Alcohol.
So
swab.
you agree that something physical happened when the 3 of you were there because you got cut to your face.
Yeah, it was your client.
Something physical happened.
Objection. No evidence.
Hold on.
If I got cut, I guess so.
Will trial continue tomorrow? My understanding is no. That's the reason I'm covering the trial in full, is because the ending of the trial on this day 3, both sides rested. I was watching that live at the end of the day on, what was that, last Wednesday, I think? Yeah, last Wednesday. Both sides rested and broke until tomorrow, the upcoming Tuesday, which is tomorrow now. But yeah, they're gonna have their closing arguments tomorrow. And then the jury will go deliberate. So, yeah, my understanding, there's no more testimony to be had. Everyone is rested. We're just going to have our closing arguments and then deliberations, and then we'll have our verdict. So, yeah, it's so much for a 2-week trial, and ended up being 2.5 days.
I don't mean that.
Okay. So would you agree that there was a physical fight?
No.
So you just got cut from the air?
Objection, Your Honor.
Assisting.
Why he's asking her any questions at all about how she got this cut is just blowing my mind.
Did Miss Amani Ellis have any fingernails?
I don't remember if she had fingernails.
Was Amani Ellis angry at the time of the incident?
Yes.
Was Cardi B angry at the time of the incident?
Objection, Your Honor.
Assisting.
Yeah, cumulative. We've already been over this. Here's the thing. Like I just said, jury's pretty reasonable. They figure stuff out. Like, we've already established, obviously, it all comes back to the same. Tory Lane's trial had this. Now we've got it here. The girlies were fighting. That seems to be the running through line with these big celebrity trials. The girlies were fighting. I think everyone understands that at this point. Can we just move on now?
And back to the hamburger question. Did you at any point use your hands to separate the 2 of them, Amani Ellis and Cardi B?
No.
So did you just squeeze yourself in? How did you get in there?
Ask and answer, Joe.
Sustained.
When you had the conversation with Miss Ellis on the phone, did you actually speak with her?
Yes. On
Did
the
you?
phone? Yes.
Yeah. And let me ask you, when you were on the telephone, did she tell you anything, Miss Ellis, when she was talking to you about this?
From what I can remember, just being upset about what happened, her no longer being employed there, and I don't remember the word for word.
Okay. So Miss Ellis was basically asking you to assist her in some way to be her witness, correct? That was the purpose of the call?
Objection. Close for speculation.
Did Miss Ellis's attorney contact her?
I don't remember that.
Did Miss Ellis ever come inside your office at any time between the date of the incident and today?
Objection. Relevant.
Sustained.
Do you know if Miss Ellis spoke with Dr. Finky at any point?
Objection. Relevant.
Sustained.
The buzzsaw. The macrograms is back once again.
As far as your background, do you have any professional degrees?
I got my AA at West LA College. I'm a real estate agent. That's about it.
Good. And have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
And aside from Dr. Finky's office, were you working other places during that time period? Or was that your main job?
That was my main job.
And at this
Yeah, real quick on those questions probably feel to y'all like those just came out of left field. Like, what do you mean I've been convicted of a felony? But actually, so you're allowed to ask these types of questions. Once again, credibility is always a question for any witness who testifies, especially on cross-exam, which is what he's doing right now. So he's allowed to ask her, the jury has a right to know, basically, if a witness testifying has any history of bad behavior, specifically in the legal system when we're talking about felonies, and even more particular, talking about felonies that involve fraud or deceit, because we want to know, if this person has been convicted in a court of law for being basically not a truthful person, then that's something that the jury should probably know about in deciding whether or not to believe their testimony on this day. But I think a verdict will come back pretty quick. I think so too. My feeling, I think we'll have one tomorrow. The closing arguments, I can't imagine the closing arguments are going to be very long, like maybe 30 minutes each. Maybe a little longer for one side, but I don't see closing arguments in total taking longer than an hour. If they do, then someone's messing up bad. So if you think that closing arguments take an hour, the jury has to be instructed by the judge he'll read all the jury instructions regarding the law in the case, and then they'll deliberate. Will it be like a really fast verdict? No, I don't think so. I think they'll talk about it and try and figure out and get on the same page. But I mean, the fastest jury verdict I've ever seen in my job is about 10 minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes. And that's super duper fast. But I think this will be a little longer than that, but probably, well, it's hard to see it without, we're going to watch the rest of this and I'll give my official predictions at the end of the stream. But as of now, I'm feeling like it may be like an hour of deliberations before they're able to come back with a verdict. And I think the verdict will be not liable. Yeah.
This time you no longer work there, right?
No.
And on the date of the incident, because Cardi B was your patient, you felt that it was necessary to go outside to bring her inside to help her get inside for the medical appointment, correct?
Objection. Relevant. Ask and answer.
Sustained.
I have no further questions.
All right, you all right?
No, you are. Thank you.
All right, any questions from the jury? Oh, yeah? Okay.
Oh, jury questions. Let's see.
Office to maintain. All right, I think these questions are appropriate. Ma'am, when you did you actually close your office to maintain privacy for Cardi B?
Yes.
And when you do that, was it your customer practice also notify the building security?
I honestly don't know if that was done or not.
Did you normally do that, or were you?
That wasn't my task, no.
Okay. Do you recall the N-word coming out of Cardi B's mouth?
No.
Can you describe Cardi B's emotional state during and after the incident?
Upset, emotional, worried about the reason why she was there. I don't know if I'm sure. But
You don't know the details?
no, I don't know.
In terms of the medical issues? I mean, the testimony is that she was there for a pregnancy checkup.
Yeah, so just concerned about that and being upset about her privacy.
Did you notice whether Miss Ellis had a phone or a camera during the incident?
She had a phone in her hand.
She did have a phone in her hand?
Yes.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Those are the questions that I think are appropriate. Any follow-up from defense?
Oh, no, no, no.
All right. For plaintiff?
Yes, just one follow-up.
So she remembers a phone being in the hand of the plaintiff. Once again, corroborating yet another fact for Cardi B, which I don't recall exactly what plaintiff's testimony was, but I don't believe she said she had a phone in her hand. I think she was denying having a phone in her hand. Like, I think she was saying she had an earpiece in, listening to voicemail or something. So, yeah, yet another hole that's been poked in the plaintiff's case.
The day when you decided to close your office to have a medical appointment, that was a Saturday. Was your medical office usually open on Saturday?
Yes.
And you usually close around 1:30 or 2 or 3 or go all day?
No, it's half the day. So usually, from what I can remember, the last patient was around noon or 11:45 noon, somewhere around there.
Isn't it true that Cardi B was the last patient of the day?
Yeah, she was the last patient. So we finished our morning and we made sure she was the last one.
You work I'm sorry. Do you work on Sundays as well?
No.
In the half a day on Saturdays when you're there, were you in charge of closing the office?
Your Honor, this is outside the scope of the questions.
Assistant.
No further questions.
All right. Can this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
All right.
Did you subpoena her?
No.
Then I don't think it's subject to recall. All right. All right. Do we want to resume the direct of Ms. Cardi B?
Yes.
All right.
So no, please resume the direct case.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
So that was
Yes.
the 776 cross, and now
Yes,
it's the
yes,
defense.
yes, yes, Your Honor, yes, yes.
Do we want to resume the take the stand now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Keep on.
We're all ready for recess. That's all.
Yeah, really good witness right there for the defense, for Cardi B. Yeah, it's just further solidifying my feeling here. This is going to be a not liable verdict, that Cardi's going to not owe anything.
He asked the question.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
I apologize. Okay, then
I
it is your turn.
Your Honor, who's going to go beyond the scope?
We already discussed that. He was lodging objections, but you're going to be asking questions? Is that the plan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Ms. Moore is going to be asking the questions, and the request is to...
No, we discussed you can go beyond the scope. Just typically, if it's your witness, you're doing the objections, okay? I'll let it go this time. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Moore.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, a little bit of procedural technicality here. I'll go ahead and talk about it. So Cardi's back on the stand, but now she's under direct exam by her team. This is the defense case in chief. The plaintiff called her because, right, in civil law, the plaintiff can call the defendant to go testify, and the defendant cannot claim the Fifth Amendment in relation to the actions of this case. So that's something that you can't do that in criminal world. The state cannot call the defendant to testify in criminal world. So that's the big difference here. So the defense called her to testify and treated her as a hostile witness, meaning a hostile witness. Let me clarify that. Meaning they can ask her leading questions. They can be a little more confrontational with her. But then the defense is able to cross-examine, even though she's their client. They can cross-examine her based on what the plaintiff's lawyer was asking her. And that's kind of what happened so far. Now, the defense is calling her to testify for them, where now they're able to ask her more open-ended questions that go beyond the scope of what the plaintiff's side was asking her when she was a hostile witness for them. So this is basically just to get in some more additional information that was outside the scope of what the plaintiff was asking her about. So I don't know how much more there really is to get out of her at this point, because once again, like I keep saying, it's a very short interaction, a very short set of facts here. So yeah, and I think everyone's got a pretty good picture, pretty good idea of what happened here. Now it's just about corroborating what happened through different witnesses to see whose side of the story makes more sense, which is why this receptionist was such a good witness for Cardi B, because she largely corroborated Cardi B's side of the story.
Cardi, can you tell us how you got into the music industry?
Objection relevance?
How I got into the music industry? Well,
So just another good example. He tried to object for relevance. The plaintiff tried to object for relevance. But now that we're on direct exam, there's a lot more runway, a lot more leeway to ask these open-ended questions and laying the foundation and get the jury an opportunity to actually get to know your client, know the defendant.
I became like a social media personality, and I had a manager at the time, and he always noticed that like I will always like do songs my way, like my wording. And he was like, "You're really witty and you're really quick. You should try making music." And I was like, all my friends with music, if they make it, just think I'm gonna make it.
If you could just hold the microphone a little bit more towards you, or sit one right there.
Okay. So I was just like, if my friends haven't made it yet, what makes you think I'm gonna make it? And he was like, just try it. No one hurt you to try. So I tried it, and I really enjoyed like listening to like the end results. It's like almost like cooking for me. Like I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I could cook, but I like the end results. Like I did pretty good. And that's how I got into music.
Were you doing any television?
Yes. Well, not when he suggested that like you should try to do music.
But now I'm gonna advise caution. Now I'd be careful asking some of these questions because you're running the risk of opening the door for the plaintiff to now start cross-examining about some of these questions specifically, and asking her what was your role on your television show? Did you get into any fights on the television show? What was your reputation being on Love and Hip Hop? Were you the powder keg that could just go off at any moment and fight somebody? So you got to be a little careful, I think, going down this route.
But later, were you doing any television?
Yes.
What type of TV?
Reality TV.
Reality. What show was it?
Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop. Where? Love and Hip Hop.
Objection, relevance.
Overrule, but please move on.
Yep. When did you release your first mixtape?
Objection, relevance.
I'll give you some background, but at least a little bit more.
Sure. I'll cut to the chase. Party, do you have a record deal?
Objection, relevance.
Overrule.
With who?
Objection, relevance.
Overrule.
Atlantic Records.
Do you have any platinum certified songs?
Objection, relevance.
Overrule.
Yes.
Do you have any Grammy awards?
Objection, relevance.
Overrule.
So yeah, he's overruling every time because this is now getting into a core fact of the case, which is the fact that she was going about her business. She wanted discretion because she didn't want her private business with this pregnancy getting exposed to the public. B, she was recognized for being a celebrity by the plaintiff. So this actually is relevant to the case as far as establishing where does her fame come from? How do we find ourselves in a position where the plaintiff knew who she was? And so that and he can object all day long and get overruled. Part of the argument can be too that if you don't object, if there's an issue, that could be grounds for overturning on an appeal, and you didn't object to it during the trial, then you're waiving your ability to raise that issue on appeal. So there is definitely, if you're having an appeal in mind, which maybe he is at this point because he's realized he's probably going to lose here at the jury trial, but if you've got an appeal in mind, then there is some benefit to increasing your objection rates because you want to just make sure every possible avenue is preserved, the issue is preserved for appeal. But you're basically at this kind of tactic at this point, you're locking yourself into, in my opinion, losing in front of the jury because now you're trying to hit them with the objection buzzsaw and you're just failing every single time. Overruled. It's I think it's just a bad look. If you're the jury, you're looking at this like, what is this? Where did this guy go to law school? What are we even doing here?
You asked her about her siblings, you asked her about her birthday, you asked her a number of questions.
Sure, happy to move on.
So,
happy, Your Honor, thank you.
All right.
Party, why did you want to keep your pregnancy a secret?
I wanted to keep my pregnancy a secret because I just had a hit record.
Right, good point, because she was rowdy as heck on that. Yeah, so we'll have to see how the cross-exam, how deep they can go, because now the judge kind of has to give them a little bit of runway to work with that. Obviously can't go too far, and the objection buzzsaw will kick back in. But I think he's got to give them, they opened the door at least a little bit. So, like the show, literally the name of the show, Love and Hip Hop, was said verbatim. So I think that opens the door for the defense to ask about that now.
I haven't had my album out. And everybody that I worked with, they were very scared. You know, like I finally made it. And like people that like been in the industry also for like a while, so it's like, I don't know if anybody has ever, a female rapper has ever came out pregnant on their freshman year without an album, just 1 or 2, 3 records. So I was very nervous. I was also kind of like, even though I was on TV, when I first had my first big record, Bodak Yellow, I was really like getting used to big fame, bigger stages and stuff. So I was just so worried about overwhelmed with what everybody was like saying and thinking, and I felt like I was just letting a lot of people down. But
this is actually surprisingly humanizing. Cardi, obviously we all know Cardi B, very boisterous, very loud and proud in everything that she does. But this is surprisingly a very touching level of humanity that's being established here, that like she still is a person. And this was like the time of her career where she had just made it big. Yeah, like she said, getting used to this big fame, which really is a whole different beast. Like pretty much every celebrity that I've seen talk about the actual toll of fame, the price of fame. It's something that they wish they oftentimes don't have to deal with, because it's just a nonstop pressure, nonstop. You can't go anywhere in public anymore without getting recognized. Yeah, maybe cool to begin with, but now it just gets kind of tiresome over time. You just want to be able to go to the grocery store, get some eggs, and go home, or enjoy a nice day or a walk in the park or whatever. And really, you lose all these privileges. And so I think this is a very touching, humanizing testimony that she's giving about just kind of that where she was at that phase of life. Yeah, so I'm a big fan.
And when you were
Big fan of the testimony. I'm not as big a fan of Cardi B, but I'm not a fan. I mean, I guess I'm neutral towards it, which is good. You know, we're trying to be neutral in this case, and so I don't think I have much bias either way in regards to her music or her as a person. Yeah.
face to face with Mrs. Ellis, did you ever threaten to get her fired?
No.
And I want to be very, very clear. Did you ever spit on Mrs. Ellis?
No.
Did you ever call Miss Ellis the N-word? Apologies.
No.
Bro, imagine this old white lady just whipped out the N-word like hard R in court. Did you ever call her? Oh, that would be. Oh, there might have been a riot on the spot.
Cardi, where were you living in 2018?
In 2018, I was living in between New Jersey and Atlanta.
Where were your regular OBGYN doctors?
Objection relevance?
Why were you in LA the week of February 24th?
I was doing NBA All-Star Weekend, and I just had like a whole bunch of promotional things to do out here in California.
Was part of your work, did you have to attend an NBA game?
Yes.
Yesterday, plaintiff's counsel asked you some questions about your hair. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And one of the questions he asked you was, on the date of the incident, did you have black hair, blonde hair, or different color hair? Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Do you remember how you responded?
I don't know. I really don't remember what color hair I had.
Your Honor, I'd like to show the witness some photographs, please.
Chief, identify.
Can you show them counsel first?
Of course.
Can you provide a copy?
Yes, I have one for you right now.
So now here's what I'd be looking at here. I imagine there's going to be photographs kind of Cardi B at the time. I'm looking at what does she look like immediately before and immediately after, like literally the day of and day after, just to see like is there anything off about her, anything different. Specifically, maybe if we can get any good pictures of her nails, we can get a good visual of okay, what did they actually look like? Were these orange coffin shaped, like she said? Was it something different? I imagine her testimony about what the color they were, what shape they were, probably is because she has already seen these pictures. And so I'd be very shocked if they weren't on the same page regarding what was going to be shown during their testimony or during their case in chief in the defense. But I guess we'll see. I've been let down before.
Because I think it's...
And this is a photograph of who?
I'm sorry. Counsel's left. It's her direction. She can identify for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
232.
Cardi, the witness in front of you. Cardi, can you please look at this photograph and tell me, do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is this photograph?
That is me out here in LA at a All-Star Weekend NBA game.
And does this picture refresh your recollection about what your hair color was that week?
Yes.
What color was it?
I'll say like a ashy, dirty blonde.
Can you see your nails in that photo?
Yes.
I don't know. It's tough to have her establish that, oh, what was your hair color during that week when you've literally got 3 days of trial and 3 different hairstyles, a short black pixie cut, a long blonde wig, and now a long black wig. It's hard to establish that as like, oh, we can definitively say now what her hair was like during that week. And just simply based on her fashion choices from this week of this trial.
And were you wearing acrylic nails or some other type?
Acrylic.
And I think you testified yesterday that acrylic nails can last you up to 2 weeks. Is that right?
Yes.
Are those the nails you had the entire time you were in LA?
Yes.
How would you describe those nails looking at them in the photo?
I'll say, to my taste, they're like kind of short. They're square, they're boxy, They have like stones, flat rhinestones in the middle. The orangey.
I'm sorry, did you say the flat rhinestones were in the middle?
Yeah.
And how long would you estimate I know you said you feel like they were short, but could you estimate how long you feel like they were?
Like an inch, maybe less. An inch or so.
And what shape are they?
They like coffin square.
Are those the nails you were wearing on the day of the incident?
Yes.
Your Honor,
Like the fact that I'm sitting as a juror now, sitting in the jury box. The fact that I'm just now seeing what the nails look like on the defendant's case in chief and not through the plaintiff's case in chief, it just shows me, it gives me this feeling that, like, as the plaintiff, you're hiding. You're trying to hide stuff from me. You're hiding the ball. You don't want me to see you don't want me to see the scar on the face. You don't want me to see the nails that supposedly caused the scar. It's like, when you have that feeling as a jury, it's like, why are you hiding? Why are you trying to hide these things from me? Like, how are you supposed to vote? How am I supposed to vote that this defendant is liable for this action if you've been not giving me anything to hang my hat on? Like, all the information that I want to see, I'm getting it through the defendant. I wanted to hear it from the receptionist. I didn't hear it through the plaintiff's case in chief. I have to hear it through the defendant's case in chief. Like, Cardi's side is just coming off as so much more, like, truth oriented about just like, here's what happened, here's the truth. And yeah, I think that just goes a long way. It goes a long way.
I'd like to move this into evidence and publish it for the jury.
No.
Cardi, do you remember, did you get your nails done before you came to LA or after?
It's most likely before LA.
Okay. But they were the same nails the whole time you were here?
Right, I agree on the hair thing, especially with her going to the next celeb level at that time. No telling what her hair and nails looked like back then, LOL. Yeah. No, it's I think it's a good point. But yeah, no, we got a good picture here now of well, I guess the hair, we don't really care about the hair as much, right? But the nails, like, yeah, these are not particularly long. Like, hard to tell these as much, but this one you can tell from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the nail. Like, yeah, what is that? Maybe an inch? Maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have no more questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, you ready?
So the photograph that we're looking at there, what date was the photograph taken?
I'm not sure the date, but I know it was that weekend of All Stars and stuff.
Okay. And what time of day did this photograph, what time of day was it taken? Was it morning, afternoon, evening?
It had to be like around 6 p.m., like whatever time like game start. It really depends. Like that week, it was just, I'm not sure, but it wasn't like a night. It was like probably in the afternoon or something.
And when you go out at night, do you change your clothing and fix yourself up to prepare for the evening?
Objection relevant.
Were you dressed this exact way when you saw Dr. Finky on the date of the incident?
Objection relevant.
So you changed your clothing completely different than this, right?
Yes.
Still objecting. What's the
Could you
relevance
have
of
also
this?
changed your nails? Objection called for speculation.
No. It's not that easy to change acrylic nails.
But you told us before that it would take about 2 hours to do that, correct?
Yes. But I know for a fact, I mean, if you could track down that whole week, I had these nails on for sure.
Yeah. Your Honor, I would want to zoom in the photograph just to show the nails better than what we can see. With the focus on the left hand or right hand. Well, that works. That's wonderful. Thank you. So if we look at that, that's your right hand, correct?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
And if you wanted to scratch someone with those nails and cause them to...
Yeah, these are, what do we want to call these? I guess, how do you even judge nail length? Is it from and I don't know any of the terms here, but I'll just say from the beginning of the nail part to the tip of the nail part, is that the length? Or is it from the tip of the finger to the tip of the nail, like what's actually protruding out? I don't know. Also, I will say these rhinestones do look, well, they look raised over here, but you got a good side profile here and they don't look very raised here, so I don't know. Also, yeah, as Cardi's defense team, I probably would have just put in a whole slew of pictures. If she was doing promotional stuff all week for NBA All-Star, then you would have pictures from the entire week. I would just put them all in at once, like 10 pictures. Just get one from each day, just documenting, look, she had the same at least the same nails every day.
Have a cut to their face. You could do it with those nails, can't you? The nails that we see in this photograph, are they sharp in your opinion?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well, it's referring to the photograph.
No, they are not sharp at all. Those are not sharp nails.
Okay. Now, you heard a witness, Tiara Malcolm, a few moments ago in the last 15, 20 minutes. She testified that she also had a cut to her face. Do you remember hearing that in court?
Yes.
So how did she get the cut on her face? If you know. If you know?
It wouldn't be for me.
Is it possible that when you were reaching over, you cut her face?
Objection.
Yeah. More likely she would do more poking than scratching with nails like these because they look pretty thick. Getting scratched by natural nails makes more sense than with these, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's what the allegation is here. Remember, it's poking. It's poking into the face. It's not this. But when you look at the actual injury, supposedly it's this scratch, these claw marks that are vertical. That would only come from a vertical like swipe down, not from a poke. So, yeah, it is not adding up. The math ain't mathin' for the plaintiff.
And the rhinestones that you see there, you consider those to be flat?
Yes.
And you consider yourself to be a freshman in 2018. Does that mean you just started your career in music and rapping and all that?
Yes.
So before 2018, you were not a rapper?
I was.
When did you first start?
I first started rapping in 2016, but I became a superstar for rapping in 2017.
Okay.
So, just being blessed in. So.
All right. And why was it, aside from what you've told us, that you feel being a freshman and being pregnant, the two didn't match? Was there any other reason, aside from that you wanted to keep your pregnancy a secret?
Objection, Mr. President.
Earlier, you testified that when you went to the doctor's office on the date of the incident, you wanted to keep your pregnancy a secret, correct?
Yes.
And the reason you wanted to keep it a secret was because you were a rapper, correct?
Objection, Mr. President. Testimony argumentative.
Why did you want to keep your pregnancy a secret?
Objection, yes, answer.
Yeah, she hasn't answered it
My
yet.
career. I didn't tell my parents yet. I was just very overwhelmed.
And when you thought that your secret was being violated, it made you angry, correct?
Objection, argumentative, Mr. President. Testimony like foundation.
Okay.
Yes, I feel like my privacy was completely being violated. I wouldn't want to be anything that has to do with my medical records or anything. Even if I do cosmetic surgery, I don't want people to be in anything that has to do with medical in your business. It's just, especially something that is so sacred as your pregnancy is yours.
Yeah.
And you would do anything to protect that privacy, correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
Very sympathetic.
And aside from your assumption that you were being recorded by Miss Imani Ellis, was there any other assumptions that you had at the time of the incident?
Objection, argumentative. This characterizes the testimony.
You had a belief, a state of mind, that Imani Ellis was recording you at the time of the incident, correct?
Objection, outside the scope of redirect.
Yeah, because even though that's a valid question, that stuff do you get out on your own direct examination of her. Right now, he's cross-examining. He can only cross-examine based on the questions that were raised on direct. So we had the little bit of the background, how she got into rapping, and as well as the nails specifically from that week. So that's kind of what he's limited to for what he's allowed to cross-examine on right now.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any redirect? All right. Any questions from the jury? I'm not seeing any hands. All right. You accept that, man? All right. I think we're not going to have another witness before lunch. Or, I'm sorry, does plaintiff have another witness for after lunch?
We do not, Your Honor.
All right. Does plaintiff rest?
No, Your Honor.
Well, are you going to have a witness after lunch?
I would like to discuss this outside of the
All right. Okay, folks, we're going to take our lunch break now. We're going to resume back at 1:30. In the meantime, please not discuss the case with anyone, including other jurors. Don't form any opinions. Or do research. We'll see you at 1:30.
So breaking for lunch, but the plaintiff's lawyer kind of waffled there saying, because he asked him, do you have any other witnesses after lunch? And he said, no. But then judge said, okay, so are you resting? And then he also said no. So it's like, so wait, either you have a witness or you don't. He said he wants to talk about that without the jury. So let's see what he's got to say.
So Henderson, basically, he was supposed to have his witnesses lined up for this afternoon, call them out of order. I explained to him and the court this morning that I have 3 witnesses, which are Dr. Aziz Alani, Ms. Parsi and Michael Shoke, and they are unavailable for today, and we wanted to call them out of order, requesting that the court allow them to testify on Tuesday.
Okay, well, you have major offer proof with respect to whether or not their testimony is relevant to anything?
Yes, Your Honor. So, may I do that now?
Well, I thought you said you didn't know what they were going to say.
I spoke to them.
When?
During the break.
Okay, and what are they going to say?
So Dr. Azizulahi is going to say that he had been advised there's a disturbance in the building.
Okay, so that explains that. He's saying, and before we even get into that, he's saying, I have more witnesses, but they're not available today. So I'm asking to hold off basically until next Tuesday after Labor Day, which is tomorrow now based on this stream, stating, saying that they can be available on that day. They'll come in and testify. But just because they're available and they're willing to come testify doesn't mean you just automatically get to come in and testify. You actually have to have something material and relevant to offer to the facts, to the testimony, that makes it so that, yeah, you've got a reason to come in and testify. And the judge is now trying to dig into that and be like, look, I get they're not available today. They will be available next week. But why are they even testifying? What do they have to offer to this case? And based on my understanding, one of them is the doctor from like the 3rd floor of this building, and this incident happened on the 5th floor. And all he's saying is he heard that there was a disturbance upstairs, and he went up to check it out after it was already done. It's like, this is not relevant at all. Like you've got nothing to offer, nothing to add to the facts here. And so my guess is that the judge is just basically going to drop the hammer and just say, no, that doctor is not going to testify. I'm not letting him testify because he's got nothing to add here. But let's see if he gives us any additional facts, though, as to what this doctor could testify to corroborate any element of the narrative of what we've heard so far.
Dr. Azizulahi is going to say that he had been advised there's a disturbance in the building. His assistant, Ms. Parsi, went upstairs to the 5th floor.
Already, this entire thing is just based on hearsay now, though, that he was advised that there was a disturbance. It's hearsay. So his entire foundation for what he's going to be able to testify to is based on an inadmissible hearsay.
Did not go to the 5th floor. Michael Shoke was on the 5th floor as well.
Okay, let's start. Keep with the doctor. So what's he going to say?
The doctor's going to say that there was a disturbance in the building.
Okay, that's undisputed.
And that's it for him.
Okay, so we don't need him, right? No. Okay, so what's the next witness?
Ms. Parsi is his assistant. Went upstairs to find out what was going on.
Yep, so if all the doctor was going to say was that there was a disturbance in the building, guess what? That's undisputed. No one's denying that. Boom. Already. We don't need the doctor to testify. He's out as a witness. We can move on to the next one.
And witnessed the confrontation between the 3 individuals, the 2 individuals and the person that intervened, Ms. Malcolm.
So she's going to testify to what she saw, which includes the disturbance and...
Only,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, only what she saw, and it could go to the scratch on Ms. Malcolm's head. We can gain some information how that came about. I didn't discuss that with her, however, she was present during that piece. And Michael Shoke was a patient that was on the 5th floor walking in the hallway, and he's the witness to the entire confrontation.
And so let's go back to when you identified these people.
They've been on the witness list for many months now. I'm not sure if it was the 2024 one, however, definitely in July it was there. I can check my records. They've known about this, and it's the same issue that they had that we had.
And so when did you learn of Mr. Schultz?
We learned of it when an investigator did investigation several months ago, at least several months ago, and found out that he was an actual witness, an eyewitness to the incident. Your Honor, the only witness list that I have is from July 25th of 2025. He's been on this witness list.
He's not on that one.
Yes, he is, Your Honor. I have a copy for the court.
Oh, okay. I see him.
Yeah.
Michael
Shoke, Azizulahi, and Parsi are all on that one. Mr. Lamb and I had a conversation about this at length. We created this list together. He told me his witnesses. I told him my witnesses. He signed this. They've never objected to it one time until recently. And the only reason they've objected is to... I'm not clear why they want to do it. It seems to be very one-sided that they can exclude our witnesses, but we can't exclude theirs. So I would ask the court not to exclude ours, since the court has not excluded theirs.
All right, what's Mr. Schultz going to testify to?
Mr. Shoke is going to testify that he was a patient at a different doctor's office on the 5th floor, and he was walking in the hallway to go to the bathroom, and he saw the incident himself with his own eyes.
All right, for the defense.
First, Your Honor, just so the record is clear, counsel did say that he could not continue with witnesses today. He did mention something about taking people out of order. I have told him that I don't think he has that right, and earlier today I mentioned that taking witnesses, defense taking witnesses out of order is not the same thing as the plaintiff being unable to proceed with witnesses at the time of trial. as the court knows, the trial was continued several times. The 2024 witness list, jointly filed, does not have any of these people. These people were first listed, if memory serves, in the July 2025 witness list, and we did object, but that ruling, that has never been heard by the court at this point. They were first identified in July 2025. We were not told what their potential testimony would be. We were told that Dr. Aziz
Well, he's not testifying because he doesn't have anything bad.
Right. And the other ones, we were told there's one that was a receptionist and shot a guest. So we were not given any substance at all. At no point did they disclose that, and counsel was unable to disclose it this morning, and now he's making certain representations. The fact.
I mean, you still could have deposed them, though, or you still could have tried to get a hold of who these people were. If they've been, I get it's a late disclosure, July 2025, very, very late. But, and yeah, they filed their objection, but then the trial began before the objection could be heard by the court. But who's to say? Well, I guess no. It wouldn't make sense though to do a whole deposition if you're not even sure this witness is going to be allowed to testify because you've objected to them. The court hasn't ruled on it yet. So, but yeah, it sounds like though this mid 2024 witness list was like the main big one that had pretty much all the witnesses on it. But then they filed this one final one like a month before trial to try and he included these additional witnesses. So he's basically just trying to say like, we were not given enough notice, and most importantly, the court has not had an opportunity to rule on whether or not these witnesses are even going to testify, hence why we never went to the lengths of scheduling a deposition and all the resources that go into doing that.
The fact of the matter is, and I should also say, that we are ready to proceed. We've got two more witnesses, Dr. Rosenberg, who's a designated expert, and Dr. Finky, and we want to get this trial done. We're ready to go.
Okay.
May I respond one thing, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
So in form interrogatory responses, back in 2022, the same way that the defendant responded and said there's two individuals who are witnesses, that is the same way that plaintiff responded. It's the same thing. And it's attached to plaintiff's opposition to defendant's request to produce witnesses at trial. It was filed with the court yesterday or the day before. It has all of the discovery.
But the difference here is the way the defendants filed it, they said it was the doctor who owned the office and the receptionist who came out and broke up the fight. So it's like, yeah, they weren't identified specifically by name and address and whatnot, but you can reasonably identify who those people were with just a little bit of work. If you've just identified on the plaintiff's witness list, like, yes, there was a patient on the 5th floor on that day who saw the whole thing, but you don't have an identity. It's like, how are you supposed to go about identifying what patient was there on that day at that time? Yeah, there's really no way of doing that. So that's kind of the main difference between what the two different sides approach. Because other than that, it is largely a similar issue, and the judge has already ruled one way favorably to the defense. But I think based on that major difference, he can rule favorably for the defense again. But the plaintiff's trying to make it sound like it's the exact same situation, and it's really not.
I'm sorry, actually, no. This one has a discovered defendant, but I do have the discovered the plaintiff. It was used in this case by the opposing side. They knew that we had these witnesses that we didn't know their names. And the 2024 expert designation was not real because we had agreed to put the trial around this time, and I don't really remember doing anything with the witness list. That may be a list that they created and they filed. I definitely don't remember signing that. I don't think my signature would be on that document. So if they prepared something and filed it, I was not part of it. They just decided to file it on their own.
I was just going to say, what I think counsel is saying is that he did not identify any of these three people back in 2024. He's now contesting
2022.
Well, no, I'm talking about the general witness list.
I think I understand, and so I think here's the issue: is it certainly would have been appropriate for both parties to have done the investigation at the outset of the case to identify who these witnesses were. That didn't happen. It sounds as though both sides engaged in investigative work after discovery was closed and identified new witnesses. I'm going to get plaintiff's counsel's representations at face value in that they were recently identified. These witnesses were on the July 25 joint trial witness list. To the extent that they were identified, the people were identified after discovery was closed, I think it's appropriate that they be allowed to testify. but it's going to be on a short leash. And I indicated during the pre-trial conference that I am relatively liberal in the interest of expediting the process of the case to call witnesses out of order. And so we'll suspend plaintiff's case now. We'll start the defense case. But your witnesses need to be here Tuesday morning or they're not testifying.
I understand, Your Honor. Will defense be, they didn't give me 24 hours notice, it's fine, I'm not that picky. My question is, will Dr. Rosenberg and Dr. Finky be testifying this afternoon, so at least during the lunch hour I can do some preparation?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I got 2 voicemail messages which we can play, which were not particularly coherent from counsel, that said that he doesn't have witnesses.
Okay, I've already ruled on that. So
Yeah,
do
no.
you have witnesses for the second?
Yes, and I advised him as soon as he told.
I'm not disputing the 24-hour notice.
Please stop interrupting.
Oh, sorry, I was going to respond to the 24-hour notice. We did, in fact, tell him as soon as he said
Do you have witnesses for the afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So maybe it sounds like there is going to be more testimony tomorrow morning, Tuesday. But I could have swore I heard them say they read, because I watched the ending of day 3 live, and I could have swore they said both sides had rested. So maybe I'm mistaken, and there might be a little bit more testimony that has yet to be heard, and will be heard tomorrow.
Yes, Your Honor. I did request a short hearing about the issue that I have. I have someone from my office who did research on this photograph here. This was taken on February 18th of 2018. And when this was presented, the court was advised and everybody was advised that it was on February 24th of 2018. If the court would take judicial notice of People magazine, I can put it on the Elmo if the court wishes to see it. It was published on February 19, 2018 at 11:25 a.m. Eastern Time by People magazine, which shows this exact same photograph. So it would be a misrepresentation.
Do you have a witness to testify to this?
I have Mr. Traffic Grossman.
That he looked on the internet?
Well, he does my investigations at this time, and he would be testifying that this photograph was taken on February 18th of 2018. That game that she's speaking of, the All-Star game, was on February 18th of 2018. It's a whole week before. So I would like to recall the plaintiff. I'd like to call him somebody to clarify this issue. That's all I'm asking.
Your Honor, may I? Yeah, Your Honor. That photograph is provided to us by Atlantic Records. We have someone who can attest to that, Justin Grant. When you search up that photo, you find it was from February 18th, 2024. That was All-Star Weekend in 2024. And there are people that have reposted it and incorrectly put 2018. So what the plaintiff's counsel is saying is not accurate. It was 2024.
Yeah, I had
I mean, 2018. You can say February 18th, 2018.
I will stipulate that the date is February 18th of 2018. The problem with that testimony, or the problem with that representation from counsel, is this incident happened 6 days later.
Right, and that was my point of view. She testified it was the same day as on.
No, Your Honor, she testified that she got this picture taken on the same day. She testified under oath that at 6 p.m. on February 24, 2018, this picture was taken. That's false. That is a false statement. Her own attorney admits February 18th of 2018 is the date of this photograph.
Okay. I'm not going to have the jury waiting for this. We're ready to call the next defense witness.
There's one other issue, Your Honor.
How is that?
I did have a conversation with the witnesses that I have. They're unable to appear Tuesday morning. It's not possible.
Okay, then you're not going to call them.
I understand that that's the court ruling, but I just want to put on the record as soon as I learn that I cannot produce them Tuesday morning.
Okay.
Oh, there. That explains it.
You want to bring in the jury?
Oh, now I'm really wondering how much he knew of their unavailability and how much he let on. Because usually you got a pretty good idea. When he was pretty definitively stating that, oh yeah, they'll be here Tuesday morning. But now they go over the lunch break and he calls them both, these witnesses, and now all of a sudden magically, oh, now they're unavailable. They can't make it. And now he's told the court. So that would explain that, yes, they do rest today at the end of day 3. And yeah, it'll be closing arguments tomorrow morning. Oops, hold up.
Defense calls Dr. James Rosenberg.
All right.
I believe maybe an all.
Okay. You want to retrieve him?
Okay, we got a new witness. A doctor of sorts. But what did this doctor do?
Mr. Rosenberg, may I please have you go around?
I'm sorry, run the other way.
Yes, please. Stand right next to the program. Please raise your right hand. Please solemnly state that the testimony you may give and the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
James, J-A-M-E-S, Rosenberg, R-O-S-E-N-B-E-R-G.
Perfect. Thank you. You may take a seat. Please watch your step.
Thank you.
Okay, this guy's a psychologist who I just looked it up. He's a psychologist he's the one who evaluated the plaintiff for her and is going to have his own expert opinion on her mental state. And if y'all watch the original Law and Orders, the J.K. Simmons character, the Dr. Skoda, right? Skoda? I'm calling on the wife. She's listening to something. Never mind. But yeah, J.K. Simmons in Law and Order. He was a psychologist who would get involved in cases. Yeah, it sounds like this is basically that guy. He evaluated the plaintiff, and he's going to give his expert opinion on how her claims of emotional distress are not consistent. Is going to be my estimation here.
Please introduce yourself for the jury.
My name's Dr. James Rosenberg. I'm a licensed medical doctor in California. I specialize in psychiatry.
Can you please outline your professional education for us?
Yes, I studied philosophy and molecular biology at UC Berkeley. I then did a year of surgery research at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, including coronary laser angioplasty research. I attended medical school for 4 years at UCLA. I then did an internship in primarily specialties of surgery and cancer medicine, including neurosurgery and cardiothoracic surgery. I then did a 3-year residency at the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute in psychiatry, and I did a fellowship in forensic psychiatry at the Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland with a Dr. Philip Resnick.
Okay, and
Yeah, can't wait to hear closing arguments for the other antics plaintiff's lawyers come up with. Yeah, at this rate, who knows what he's going to come up with. It's going to... closings, I imagine, will get a little crazy. But also, by the way, here's how you establish an expert, though. You just lay the foundation down of like, here, we're gonna drown the jury in qualifications and all the different crazy stuff that he's done. So that way, like, they start to get bored with how many new qualifications they're hearing about. Like, that's how you lay the foundation for an expert, and just get the jury to a place where it's like, okay, fine, I'll believe whatever he says. Just stop telling me all the different qualifications he has.
what licenses and board certifications do you hold?
So my license is to practice medicine in the state of California. I have a lifetime board certification in psychiatry. In 1996, I got my second board certification in forensic psychiatry, a subspecialty of psychiatry involving the legal system. That's every 10 years. I renewed it for another 10 years until 2016. And then due to a very bad experience I had in a criminal case, my wife and I decided I wouldn't renew it again and I would stop doing criminal work.
Okay, can you please briefly summarize your professional experience as a psychiatrist?
So after I completed my training and came back to my fellowship, I became assistant director of psychiatry at the West Los Angeles VA Medical Center and ran the block psychiatric intensive care unit at UCLA Teaching Service and was there for a few years. I was a member of the UCLA Medical School faculty for 16 years. After I left the VA, because my forensic consultation practice started to get busy, I always continued to see patients at least one day a week unrelated to any legal matter. Most recently, it was 22 years at a nonprofit community mental health clinic in Van Nuys, providing psychiatric evaluation treatment of homeless and low-income individuals. My forensic psychiatry practice, the first half of my career was primarily criminal cases, approximately 200 murders, mass murder, serial criminals, and other types of major crimes. The second half has been primarily civil litigation matters of brain injuries, catastrophic physical injuries with PTSD claims, and employment-related matters. I consulted over the years to the United States Attorney in Washington, D.C. on organized crime in the Eastern District of New York, for the Medical Board, the Attorney General, and also for 8 years I was a consultant to the show Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
Thank you.
This guy's great. Yeah, and he was even a consultant on Law & Order. Imagine that. Yeah, no, he's a... And y'all remember back when the plaintiff called his expert, it's he was like bouncing all over the place. Like he started jumping immediately into the testimony, but then he was like, wait, let me rewind, let's talk about your background. But then he like went down a rabbit hole and something random about his background, and then got back into the testimony and then brought it back to the background again. It was like all over the place. Like here, very simple, very easy, straightforward. We're just like, he is overwhelming with great qualifications, and I don't know about y'all, but like I'm ready to listen to whatever this guy has to say in the realm of psychology and psychiatry.
Your Honor, I would like to show Exhibit 220 to the witness. Dr. Roseberg, is Exhibit 220 in the blue binder.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm at 220.
Are you familiar with this document?
Yes, this looks like the first page of my resume or curriculum vitae.
And can you please flip through it and let me know if that's a true, correct copy of your CV?
Yes, this is the most current version, last updated February 2023.
Thank you. Your Honor, defendant moves to admit Exhibit 220 in evidence.
I object to that at this point. Excellent.
He objected for lack of foundation. Bro, we just spent 10 minutes laying the foundation for all the crazy cool psychology things that he's done in his life. And now we just have a piece of paper that just basically says all the same things. And he's objection for lack of foundation. I'm telling ya, we've got it figured out. The plaintiff's lawyer, inside job. We have it figured out.
Have you been retained as an expert on behalf of the defense Cardi B in this case?
That's my understanding.
And what is it that you were asked to do?
I was asked to conduct a psychiatric evaluation of Ms. Ellis's emotional injury claims related to the incident on February 24th, 2018.
Have you served as a retained expert in previous cases?
Yes, both criminal and civil matters, probably over my career.
Another great foundational question. How many times have you testified before as an expert witness? Give the jury the feeling of like, oh, this guy, he really knows what he's doing. He's done this hundreds of times. Another great foundational credibility point.
Maybe 1,500 times.
Oh, he said 1,500?
Over my career, maybe 1,500 times.
Wow. I was thinking several hundred, but 1,500, that's crazy.
Experts are paid for their time. What is your rate that you charge for the time that you spent working on this case?
So I charge, my base rate is $550 an hour, which is for reviewing records, my face-to-face examination of Ms. Ellis, scoring the psychological testing, and writing a report. My rate for testimony in deposition, which was taken in this case, or trial like today, is $800 an hour, and there's a 4-hour blocks.
Does your fee depend in any way on whether your opinion is favorable to Cardi B?
No, that's never been the case. And for example, I've never worked on a lien, which does involve that type of interest from my non-attorney standpoint.
Do you recall approximately how long you've been engaged on this matter?
I believe it's been since early 2023.
Okay, and how much have you charged in this matter over those 2.5 roughly years?
Well, for reviewing the records, which I've had to re-review, and additional records, examination, the psych testing, my report, preparing for deposition with plaintiff's counsel, I think I've thus far charged something a little over $30,000.
And that's not a good fact for defense, as far as like, oh yeah, we paid $30,000 for this guy to come testify and be our expert. But it's just a bad fact. It exists, and if you don't ask about it as the defense, it's going to get asked about by the plaintiff. So you might as well just get ahead of it, get a hold of it, and just like get it out there. And that way you're disarming the plaintiff from having this big reveal after they give this favorable testimony. And then after the fact, you learn as a jury, oh, wow, of course it was favorable. They got paid $30,000 for it. So just try and get it out in front, but also try and couch it by saying, like, look, are we paying for your opinion, basically? It's like, no, you're paying for his expert opinion just about the psychology of the situation.
Okay. And I believe you testified that you conducted a psychiatric evaluation of the plaintiff as part of your duties in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, so the psychiatric evaluation is, to me, a broader term that consists of the triad of reviewing records, conducting a face-to-face examination, and scoring and utilizing the psychological testing that was administered during that examination. So it's a matter of integrating and correlating and weighing the information from those three sources.
And can you please, just a little more detail, explain what happened during that evaluation in this case?
Certainly.
Where in the world is security guard getting $30,000 for an expert psychologist? No, this is a defense witness. This is Cardi B. Their team put up for him, but they hired him so he could evaluate the plaintiff specifically to highlight the inconsistencies with her claims for emotional distress, her claims for PTSD. And what better guy to get than the VA psychiatrist, the guy who deals with PTSD probably more than anybody else. So he's been hired to basically poke holes and dispute and rebut the claims that the plaintiff is making, basically showing that these are not real claims, these are not reliable. She's not expressing these symptoms that I would expect to see out of someone who really truly has PTSD.
So I believe it was in July, maybe around July 21st, 2023. So it took about, I would say, roughly 6 hours. The entire examination was audio recorded, and the first half of the examination was the administration of the psychological testing, where using gold standard psychological tests, I provided them to Ms. Ellis. I was there with her the entire time and made sure she understood the instructions, and then she filled out the answering sheets, circles or bubble and answer sheets, as she went along. The second half of the day was the interview, and in accordance with generally accepted principles, whether it's a patient care, clinical setting, or forensic setting like this, the interview involves a wide variety of background areas in order to establish a baseline, some of these risk and resilience factors for developing a psychiatric disorder. So it includes, for example, a brief developmental history, education growing up, employment, social marital relationships, medications, general medical history, substance use history, if any, whether there are any family history of any psychiatric or medical conditions that are relevant and carry a genetic risk for Ms. Ellis, as well as legal issues like workers' comp claims.
We can speed up a little bit of this. It's basically all just foundational stuff. Yeah, once he actually gets into how he scored her on the test, that'll be the good stuff.
So a variety of background areas, and then to establish that baseline in detail, what Ms. Ellis was like, let's say in a month or so before the incident in this case, then a brief discussion of that incident, and then in detail tracing the onset and course of her reported emotional and other symptoms and how that's affected her, and in the context of also correlating that with her real-life day-to-day function and any health care that she sought out and received.
Okay, based on that examination, did you reach any conclusions with respect to whether the plaintiff suffered a mental or emotional injury as a result?
All right, so here's the actual opinion he's giving about her claims for emotional distress.
Of her encounter with Cardi B.
Yes, I did reach an opinion, as with all my opinions, I reached an opinion with reasonable medical probability in that regard.
Thank you, and what was that opinion?
My opinion is that there is no significant evidence that Ms. Ellis sustained an emotional injury at any point in time in this case, from the time of the incident to present, with the understanding that an emotional injury, from my standpoint, consists of the onset of one or more psychiatric diagnoses in accordance with the American Psychiatric Association's guidelines or criteria, or the substantial worsening if there was a pre-existing disorder, and that in my opinion, Ms. Ellis has never qualified for that in this case.
Yeah, I can imagine having a negative experience with a celebrity would contribute to depression, then you get fired for bad behavior. I get being down about it, but PTSD for a fight you started? Yeah, exactly right. And really, because, right, if we're looking at damages here, we're splitting it in two categories. You got the physical, and you got the emotional. The physical, the plaintiff called their own expert, the plastic surgeon guy, to try and explain the foundation for that, but all we got out of that was a low-resolution picture that barely showed lines. And so really not good evidence at all, other than the cost of the procedure that he did, $17,000. But beyond that, we got no pictures from the plaintiff of her during the intervening 4 years between the incident and the plastic surgery she got. So no pictures showing the scar, anything like that. So the physical really is not good evidence for that, which you can prove easily through some of this forensic empirical evidence, like a picture. But now we're talking about the emotional injury, which it's hard to prove. You can't just look at a picture and say, "Oh, yes, there's an emotional injury here." It's a lot more subjective as far as she feels this way, and so that's why this witness is super important, because he's basically had a chance to evaluate her professionally and say that, okay, you're saying you feel this way, but your actual behavior, actual mannerisms is not consistent with the claim you're making for something like PTSD.
Thank you. I believe you testified that one of the parts of your examination was psychological testing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And he's given his opinion officially now, his medical opinion, professional opinion, that she did not suffer an emotional injury in the manner in which she is claiming to have suffered one. And again, this is coming from a guy who was like the lead psychiatrist for the VA in his region. So it's like, you want to talk about someone who deals with emotional injuries and PTSD. Like, this guy is probably about the best guy you can get that knows that stuff.
Please briefly explain what those tests were.
Yeah, so again, what's very important is first the choice of tests. I use gold standard tests that are well validated scientifically and recognized as appropriate tests for this context. So the purpose of the test is that first they have validity scales that look at how somebody's approaching taking the test and what information that says generally about how the individual may be approaching reporting an emotional injury claim, as well as on the test specifically. They then include a variety of clinical scales: anxiety, depression, PTSD, physical symptoms, substance use, cognitive symptoms, meaning things like memory, attention, concentration, personality, psychosis, a variety of factors like that.
And can you please identify what tests are administered?
Yes, so I administered the MMPI-3. It was either the MMPI-3 or the MMPI-2-RF. Those are the current ultimate gold standard tests. You have to pass that test, for example, to fly a passenger jet, to be in the Secret Service. You have to pass that, or the other test I gave, for example, to become a law enforcement officer in California. So I gave the MMPI-2-RF or the MMPI-3. I gave the only other gold standard test of that type, the Personality Assessment Inventory, or PAI. And then something that's very secondary is I gave a brief screening cognitive test, a simple 10-minute test used in primary care that looks at things like attention, memory, and concentration.
And can you please summarize for the jury what the process of taking the MMPI-2 or 3 test looks like?
Sure. So, I first ask if the individual is familiar with it, and then if she can see the answer sheet in the booklet, have her read the formal instructions at the beginning of the test booklet and tell me that she understands them. And then it's a matter of answering about 335 questions where you bubble in on a separate answer sheet, true or false, for those questions. And then I take the results of that, and I use the test publisher's official scoring software, which I have on a laptop computer, input those answers, and then generate a statistical report based upon her answers. It provides a variety of scales and scores, and then narrative text, meaning it provides a text description of what individuals like these scores tend to look like, although it doesn't talk specifically about Ms. Ellis. And you would never want to make an opinion about somebody based on just a test. Again, it's a matter of correlating them with your overall evaluation, with the interview and the record review.
Your Honor, I'd like to...
And that's important because he's basically saying that you can't draw one definitive, conclusive opinion based on any one part of what he's done. It's an integration of all the different correlative factors here between the test results, between his personal evaluation of her, between his review of the medical records, basically just looking at all of that together and combining all of it together to give one general overall opinion of, are we, in his professional medical opinion, has she sustained an emotional injury here? And his opinion here is no, she has not.
To show trial exhibit 229 to the witness.
Objection, hearsay.
You don't want to publish it at this point?
Not at this point.
Oh, okay. I thought I know the objection was showing. Just publish it. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you please turn in the blue binder to exhibit 229?
And where was the plaintiff's expert witness to establish that she did suffer an emotional injury? Like, no, there was none. It was nowhere. It was just her personal feelings saying, I feel this way. No expert at all.
Thank you. Are you familiar with this document?
Yes. So this is the report of the MMPI-2 psychological test that I administered to Ms. Ellis on July 21st, 2023, and which I provided along with other documents to opposing counsel before my deposition.
And does this document refresh your recollection as to which version of the MMPI-2 test you conducted in Ms. Ellis' case?
Yes, I gave the MMPI-2. That and the MMPI-3 are the most recent, and again, the gold standard tests worldwide in this kind of a context.
And here's the killer, too, because he gave a deposition, so the plaintiffs had the opportunity to ask him what his results were, what his findings were, what his professional medical opinion was. So they knew he was going to come into court and say that, in his professional medical opinion, she has not suffered an emotional injury. So they knew that going in, yet they took this case to trial anyway. For what? For why? Especially knowing now that, because we've watched the trial now, they did not have their own expert to establish that there was a medical injury. At least at that point, you can get into a sort of a battle of the experts, where now you've got one expert saying one thing, the other expert saying a different thing, and it's going to be up to the jury to determine which expert they're going to choose to believe. But the plaintiff here didn't even offer an expert to establish that there was an emotional injury. So yeah, but that's what just makes it crazy, though. Like, the plaintiffs knew he was going to come in and say this, and it was going to sound really, really good, really credible. Yeah, plaintiff knew this was coming because they deposed him, and the deposition's recorded, so they could go back and review it and scrub through it with a fine-tooth comb. So they knew this was coming, and they had their opportunity to try. Well, I don't know if Cardi B actually agreed to any number amount for a settlement. I would not be surprised if she did not, but usually there's at least some offer to be made of like, hey, here's how we can resolve this out of court. Usually there's an offer both ways, and the way a trial happens is you just can't agree on your terms. But so conventional wisdom would say that Cardi B there was an offer on the table, and she's like, look, I'll pay you whatever, and I'll pay for your microneedling or whatever, the $17,000, and just to make this go away. But also knowing Cardi B, I would not be surprised if she did not make any offer whatsoever, and her stance this whole time was, okay, we'll see you in court then.
Thank you. And that report that you have in front of you, did you create that document yourself?
Well, I created it in the sense that I inputted her answers into the test publisher software on my laptop. I then double-checked the answer through a process that's provided by the software. And then I had the software generate this report, again, using statistical algorithm that is intrinsic to the software. I don't personally score any of the scales. I don't personally write out any of the text interpretation that's in it. My job is then, how do I use that information once it's available in an overall assessment?
Is it fair to say that you used this report as an analytical tool in reaching your conclusions with respect to Ms. Ellis?
Yes, again, considering all the information available to me from the records, the exam, the testing, I utilized inductive medical reasoning, a best fit logical reasoning, the same reasoning I would use if I was in an emergency room, if I was a surgeon or I was a radiologist.
Do you use this software and the reports that are generated from it regularly in your psychological evaluations?
Yes, I've used these tests several hundreds of times. I have the highest user rating qualification from both test publishers.
Okay, and do you recall when this particular report was generated?
My best recollection is I generated it shortly after the examination had been completed, but I just apologize, I don't recall a specific date.
Thank you. Defendant moves to admit Exhibit 229 into evidence.
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, may I publish page 2 of Exhibit 229?
All right.
Yeah, so this guy really is like the gold standard for this line of work.
All right, and Dr. Rosenberg, you can see at the top there. I suppose you could look at the binder as well.
If you turn your screen on, the top button on the left side, it should be on there.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's much better. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, yes, sir. I can see it now. I wasn't able to see that.
Thank you. If you look at the top of the page, it says validity scales. Can you please explain what that means?
Yes. So these are the most important scales of their type for this in the MMPI-3 of any test in the world, any psychological test. The validity scales look at how somebody is approaching the test. The first two scales, Grin and Trin, variable and true response indicator, look at whether somebody understood the test questions and responded to them in a consistent fashion. So those first have to be valid before you can go on to interpret the rest of
No, I agree. Talk about overqualified. Jeez.
The vast majority of them look at their F scales because they look at infrequent responses. These scales become more and more elevated if an individual endorses or answers questions endorsing symptoms that are infrequent, meaning that even somebody who actually had that mental disorder would not actually endorse them. And these scales are scored against a large statistical population, cross-section population of the United States. And then the last couple scales, the L scale, looks at a different type of potential manipulation, portraying yourself in an overly positive or virtuous light. And then the last one is just a correction to that.
Thank you. And what do Ms. Ellis's test results in this case show you?
I'm
sorry, specifically with respect to the validity scales.
Yeah, so looking at these, it's more fun to do it from memory, but looking at these scales, they demonstrate that when Ms. Ellis took this test, that she generated scale elevations in the range that only reasonably could be interpreted as either severe symptom exaggeration or symptom fabrication. From a psychiatric standpoint, obviously, I'm not giving a factual opinion. So if we look at...
It's either symptom exaggeration or symptom fabrication. Jeez, what a... Another, for the plaintiff, knife to the heart. Another big oof.
F, the third one over with a T-score of 83. So these are compared against a normal bell curve of statistical scores where a T-score of 50 is in the middle. And every time you go out 10, you're going out another standard deviation. So at a T-score of 83, the F scale that looks at things like anxiety, depression, PTSD, she generated a score more than 3 standard deviations above the norm. And statistically, only 48 people out of 100,000 would actually generate that score, even if they really had the condition. If we then look at the other scales thereafter, the F...
So her reporting of her condition, if true, would put her in the 48 out of 100,000, more than 3 standard deviations outside the normal range. Basically saying that it is so far out there, so crazy, that the only real logical explanation here is that it's either fabricated entirely or severely exaggerated.
S scale, S is for somatic, meaning physical symptoms. The FBS, which is the fake bad scale or symptom validity scale, and the RBS scale, those look at physical health symptoms and they look at cognitive symptoms like attention, concentration, primarily if you're evaluating a brain injury claim. And so on those scales, with the understanding that, as I'll discuss, Ms. Ellis has not sought out any type of, from my review of the Kaiser records and my audio recorded interview, any type of physical health problem whatsoever, and certainly hasn't had a brain injury. These elevations are extraordinarily high. The FBS, or fake bad scale elevation, of a T-score of 102, at 5 standard deviations above the norm, only 2 individuals out of 1 billion would actually have that score if he or she had the actual disorder. So
2 out of 1 billion?
You know, these are extremely high. They're far beyond the range of somebody who could just be distressed and is trying to emphasize how distressed she is, or so-called cry for help. These are in the range of elevation that no individual, even with the conditions, would reasonably have at that statistical elevation.
So not only that, it's not only 2 out of 1 billion. It's 2 out of 1 billion. Say there were 1 billion people who actually have real PTSD. It's saying only 2 out of that billion of people with PTSD would be demonstrating the symptoms that she's claiming to have. Like, that's what we're actually talking about.
Decide that she doesn't even claim those types of symptoms in the first place.
Thank you. What types of symptoms would that be?
So for the FS, to have an elevation on F sub S, which is somatic or physical, especially a significant elevation, you would have to have a serious physical health condition. Let's say you have cancer, or you recently had a heart attack, or you're in heart failure, or you have uncontrolled diabetes, things like that. FBS is particularly sensitive to symptom fabrication or exaggeration in individuals who've had traumatic brain injuries. But again, even if you had a severe disabling traumatic brain injury and you were in a rehabilitation facility, your elevation would be maybe a T-score of 70, 75. Again, at 102, where it's 2 people in 1 billion, no individual who even had a brain injury would reasonably endorse that score. Where again, they get elevated the more and more you endorse symptoms that no person who actually has the condition would actually report those symptoms. And then RBS is cognitive. So again, it looks at things like attention, memory, and concentration. And again, hers is elevated in the range of 4 standard deviations. So, it would be well over 100 million to 1 that she would actually have those symptoms.
Wow.
Thank you. Can you please turn to page 10 of the report?
Of this psych testing report?
Yes.
Brutal. Basically saying she's just lying. She's lying about her symptoms. She's lying about how she feels. Yeah, because the rarity of it. She's reporting things that people who actually have the condition are not reporting. People who actually have PTSD, who have depressive disorder, like they have specific symptoms that are usually tied in with that. And they have things that are not tied in with that at all. But she's basically just, it sounds like she's reporting every single symptom she can possibly think of. And it's giving her just this like super way elevated score that's just so far outside the normal range of what she actually could have or the actual damage she could have suffered.
Towards the bottom you see is written diagnostic considerations.
Yes.
Can you please explain what that section is saying?
Yeah, so again, the report doesn't talk about Ms. Ellis specifically. It talks about, at a statistical level, individuals who have these scales and scores tend to look like this. And the diagnoses that are suggested are rank ordered in priority of how likely they are. And so the first diagnosis listed is malingering of somatic and or...
Yeah, how much is lie versus how much is delusion? Probably wouldn't be surprised if they've kind of wrapped up all in one, that she has deluded herself into a lie. That's what a lot of people do.
Cognitive symptoms, primarily generated by the elevation of the S of S, the think bad scale, and the RBS. And so, and malingering refers to the intentional gross exaggeration or otherwise fabrication or manipulation of symptoms for secondary gain in the field of psychiatry, and is actually in accordance with the American Psychiatric Association's published guidelines.
And again, this section of the report, like everything else, this was generated as a result of the test publisher software. Is that correct?
Yes, the test publisher software, the statistical scoring, which involves hundreds of thousands of individuals, and then detailed mathematical statistical algorithms that.
All right, how much longer does he go? Okay, well, let's listen to a little bit about what the plaintiff's lawyer is cross-examining him on, just out of curiosity.
Report that was generated, particularly severe PTSD. You don't want to leave your house. You don't want to interact with people. You withdraw from.
But my plan is probably just to skip past the, get a little bit of the plaintiff's lawyer, see what he has to say, what he, see what goofs and gaffes we can get out of him, because certainly there's bound to be plenty. But then really just kind of get past his witness. I think we all understand his opinion. She's making it up. He's an expert. He knows it when he sees it. And his opinion, she's just making up her emotional injury. So let's get a little bit of plaintiff's lawyer, but then we'll move on to the final witness, which is the doctor, the OBGYN who actually was the one who went out and brought Cardi into the office after the altercation.
Your family, the future looks bleak to you. You don't have a job. These things are completely contrary.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, cross.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. This is quite devastating. Quite, actually.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rosenberg.
Good afternoon, sir.
I took your deposition on August 5th and went over all of your opinions, correct?
We went over all my opinions, but it's very clear that you didn't ask me for all the factors in support of my opinions.
Okay. But I did take your deposition and it took about 2 hours, a little bit less, correct?
Yes, sir. You were extremely polite and professional, which I appreciate.
Thank you, Doctor. So you testified today that you billed $30,000 in this case. Is that often the charges that you bill for the type of case that's litigated and without the time for trial, of course, up until trial? Is that the reason?
I have a feeling we're about to hear what some of the objections are along these lines.
Your Honor, I object!
And why is that, Mr. Reed?
Because it's devastating to my case!
Overruled.
Good call!
Well, I think we're about to get some of that.
Reasonable amount of billing in a case like this?
I would say in a complex case that spans over years, that's probably true of maybe 25% of my litigation matters that I work on.
Okay. And in addition to the $30,000 that you received, you were also paid $1,800 by my office, correct?
Yes, sir, for my deposition fees.
And for today, you're being paid another $10,000 to prepare and appear here and testify and go back and forth. Is that fair?
I think that's reasonable, yes, sir.
Could it be higher than that?
I don't think so. I think that's a reasonable estimate.
So my estimate is about $40,000, right?
Yes, I think that's very reasonable.
And in the past 29 years, you testified at your deposition, or I can ask you now, is it true that in 70 to 80% of cases you testified on behalf of the defense up until recently, correct?
Yes.
And there's a well-known lawyer that we all know, no need to mention names, but recently he's been giving me some more work, so your 70 to 80% has gone down to 60%, correct?
More work on the plaintiff side, that's correct.
And as far as the attorneys, Cardi B had an attorney before Mr. Kossoff and other lawyers. In working with their firm, you worked in 5 other cases with them?
That sounds about right, so yes.
And with their new law firm, Davis, Wright, and Tremaine, with Mr. Peterson, Mr. Lamb, and all the other attorneys involved with them, you worked in 15 cases with their office, correct?
Objection. 6 times.
Oh. Yes, over the past 20 years or so, that's correct, though I've never worked with these particular attorneys before.
And would you agree that in 90% of cases that you were hired in, you basically remain the expert on the case and you don't withdraw, correct? About 90%.
I apologize, I don't recall a case in which I have withdrawn.
So are you saying that every single time the defense hires you in a case, you remain the expert in that case without giving them an opinion before you testify? Is that what you're saying, sir? So when you were hired by Cardi B's office, by her lawyers, when were you hired?
I believe it was sometime early in 2023.
And when you were hired in 2023, did you ask, let's try that, did you examine Monty Ellis in 2023, right? Or was it 2024, sorry?
Sorry, I need to interrupt you, sir. I believe it was July 21st of 2023.
Did you ever do any type of examination on Cardi B at any point?
Given that would be inappropriate since she wasn't the plaintiff with a psychiatric claim, I did not say.
Right, but she was involved in some type of altercation, correct?
Objection. Incomplete.
I don't think it's relevant. It's not relevant.
Yeah, not relevant.
And what is your understanding as to what is the basis of this claim? What is the Monty Ellis' claim? Why is she there in court?
My understanding is that she felt that she was verbally mistreated by Cardi B, including foul or demeaning language, that Cardi B touched her face with a long fingernail and caused some injury to her face, and it also resulted a month later in Ms. Ellis being fired from her security job.
Okay. Do you know, in psychiatry, do you treat patients that deal with assault and battery?
In my patient care practice, putting aside legal matters?
Yes.
What is the for data ambiguous to deal with?
I'll start that. Have you treated patients for injuries related to assault and battery in your career since 1994 as a psychiatrist?
A few hundred times, from very simple to extremely severe injuries.
When you say simple, what is an example? What are you saying to us?
Yes. So by simple, I don't mean to say it's not important or it's not serious to the person, but I mean, for example, let's say somebody being pushed or a hand on a shoulder in an aggressive way or something like that, all the way up to people who are beaten and kicked on the ground with skull fractures and being hit over the head with.
Yeah, verbally mistreated, touch her face, everyday working retail. Yeah, working service, fast food. Yeah, I think...
Patients, would you treat them more than once? The ones that you're speaking of?
Typically, and again, it depends on the setting. As a medical doctor, I spend a lot of time in emergency rooms, so there it might be once. But over the course of my career, overwhelmingly, particularly 22 years in a non-profit clinic in Van Nuys, I would treat them on a repeated basis. Some of them I would treat for many years, although those tended to be individuals with major mental disorders like bipolar or schizophrenia.
Okay, and if you could just look at the other binder on your left, please.
Pardon me one second, sir. Yes, sir. Where should I look?
Yes, if we can look at Exhibit 1-003.
I'm there, sir.
At the time of your deposition, had you reviewed this page?
Objection. Beyond the scope of direct.
No, that's relevant.
Best I recall, sir, I had not reviewed this particular page.
Do you remember in your deposition, I asked you if you'd reviewed all of Ms. Monty Ellis' medical records? Do you remember that?
I apologize. I vaguely remember that, and I don't remember what my answer was.
Is he designated for medical? No. I don't know why we're going down the road.
Okay.
Thank you. If we can go to Exhibit number 2.
Oh, judge stepping in again, telling him to move along. Not going down this path.
I'm at Exhibit number 2, sir.
You reviewed the medical records and bills of Dr. McKinsey, correct?
Yes, I haven't done so recently, but I did earlier in this case.
And we went over this together at the time of your deposition, and you expressed that for purposes of workers' compensation, the treatment was reasonable, but maybe for this case it's not. Do you remember testifying to that, Dr.?
Objection beyond the scope of direct and also beyond the scope of the executive session.
Do you have his resolution?
Tab 8.
The objection's the same.
Yeah. All right. I think we get the picture.
As far as any type of physical injury, isn't it true that you are not giving any type of expert opinion about physical injury, correct?
Aside from her inconsistent reports of whether or not she's actually touched on the face.
Let's get to our last witness, the gynecologist. Yeah, I think everyone is on the same page. Psychiatrist, very qualified psychiatrist. Expert opinion is that this girl be lying, making it up. That her self-reported symptoms of emotional distress are so far outside the realm of possibility that even for people with PTSD, only if there were 1 billion people with PTSD, only 2 of them out of the billion would actually have that level of symptoms. So, yeah, long story short, she's lying about her emotional injuries. So, all right, now it brings us to our final witness. Oh, man, it's been a grind, but we made it. Let's knock it out.
On the record in that of case, counsel and the parties are present, as are the members of our jury and alternate, and does the defense have another witness to call?
Yes, Your Honor, we call Dr. David Finky.
Thank you.
Dr. Finky, if I can please have you stand right next to the court. Awesome, thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
It's David Finky, D-A-V-I-D, F as in Frank, I-N-K-E.
Perfect, thank you. You may take a seat, please watch your step.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist.
And where your office is located?
In Beverly Hills at Wilshire and Lapeer.
Is that a medical building?
It is. It's the Beverly Hills Medical Building, I think.
And were you in those offices in February of 2018?
Yes.
And what floor were you on?
The 5th floor?
What floor?
5.
Oh, sorry. And were you ever affiliated with Cedars-Sinai in any way?
I completed my OB/GYN residency there in 2010, and then remain on staff. I'm not employed by Cedars, but I'm affiliated. I admit all of my patients to the hospital.
Okay. On the 5th floor of this building.
Tell me I'm wrong. What are we thinking? Y'all see it? Oh boy. Oh, it's the glasses. If he had a beard, would be there.
In 2018, were there cameras in the hallways outside your office?
No.
Hema, welcome. Ignorant of this case, which way is this case leaning? Good, well, appreciate you joining in. Long story short of it is, basically my take on it now, right, I'm a licensed attorney, do civil and criminal litigation, really do both sides, plaintiff and defense. My take on it now is that the plaintiff's case has completely imploded. There's no way that the plaintiff's going to recover anything from this, because if you break it down, there's basically two injuries that the plaintiff is alleging. There's a physical injury, which is a scratch to the face that left a scar. She had to get cosmetic surgery to clear up. And then emotional injuries in the form of PTSD, emotional distress, inability or depressive disorder, stuff like that. Started with a physical injury. Basically, the only evidence was the plastic surgeon who testified that he treated a scar on her face. But the scar, he said, was 3 lines that were vertical. There was one picture that was provided, and the picture was basically blurry. It really did not show anything. There was no other pictures shown in the 4 years that passed between the incident and the day it was treated by the plastic surgeon, and that picture was taken 4 years later. So with basically no pictures in the meantime showing that, the only allegation is that it was a finger point. It was pointing her finger at her face, and it hit her nose, scratched her nose, and scratched her cheek. But that would make a sideways scratch, not a vertical scratch. So I think the physical injury is basically completely bogus. without more proof. We just need more proof. The burden of proof is on the plaintiff to establish that this injury happened, and it happened as a result of the defendant. So, but there really was no proof offered whatsoever. So, other than I say it happened. So that's part A. Part B, the emotional distress. We just got done with a psychologist who testified. It was this guy with the white hair. And his entire testimony, he's like super overly qualified, gold standard psychiatrist guy. And his testimony was that basically the way she was reporting her symptoms was that even if she was to have PTSD, even if she had real PTSD, if you were to take a sample size of 1 billion people with PTSD, only 2 out of that billion would have the same level of symptoms that she has. Like, that's how exaggerated. So that was his professional medical opinion, was that it's she's got either fabricated symptoms or extremely exaggerated symptoms. So, and the plaintiff had no expert of her own to say that there was a real psychological injury that happened here. So all we've got to go off of as observers, as jurors, is the defense expert saying that basically the emotional injury was also complete bogus, completely made up. So my reading on it, that's just kind of the quick and dirty on it. I think there's no recovery at all that's going to happen for the plaintiff. I think Cardi B gets off completely scot-free. Not liable for anything. So if you have any specific questions about kind of what we're talking about or anything I just said, then feel free to let me know in the chat. But I think Cardi is going to be very, very safe, especially with this is the last witness that's testifying. There's really not going to be any new information that comes out that's going to change my mind at this point. At least I don't think. We'll have to see what he says.
And did your office sometimes make special arrangements for celebrity clients for privacy or security purposes?
We do.
And in 2018, did you have an open office on Saturdays? Did you work on Saturdays?
I worked Saturday office hours for about half a day for around 10 years.
To your knowledge, did anyone else in that building have Saturday office hours?
No.
Objection calls for speculation.
In February 2018, did that building have a building office?
Yes.
And what floor was that on, if you know?
4.
Okay. And did the building have a receptionist?
Not a receptionist.
Okay. Do you recall an incident in February 2018 where there was an argument with the security guard?
Yes.
Okay. And is that security guard in the courtroom?
Yes.
And could you point her out, please?
Ms. Ellis?
Thank you. How did you learn of the incident?
I was in my office, in my office's office, and then heard a lot of yelling. So I immediately got up, ran down the hall, and went out into the hallway.
Do you have a clear memory of what happened next?
Yes.
Any particular reason that you have that clear memory?
It's never happened before.
Okay. And what did you do after you ran down the hall towards the yelling?
As soon as I got into the hallway and realized what was going on, my receptionist was between the plaintiff and the defendant, and there was a lot of yelling, a lot of finger pointing, and at one point, my receptionist was struck, not hard, but I remember it was like on the shoulder, kind of thing. I think it was her right shoulder, and there was a phone in the security guard's hand, and the phone kept going back from the ear to point, and then back to the ear. Ooh. And at one point, kind of both hands were kind of flailing, but not closed fists or anything like that. More swatting.
Did your receptionist show
Another witness corroborating that the plaintiff, Miss Ellis, did in fact have a phone, and it was in her hand. After she said she did not have her phone out, she was listening through an earpiece, listening to some voicemails. Sounds like she was actually on the phone at the time, according to his testimony. Now, granted, we have to take everything with a grain of salt. Eyewitness testimony can be unreliable. People can misremember things. But it seems like everyone's remembering that she did, in fact, have the phone in her hand. And there was a lot of yelling and getting almost physical, yeah.
Show you a cut on her forward afterwards?
I believe so. Very minor.
Okay. And what is the receptionist's name, the woman who was between Ms. Ellis and Cardi B?
Tiara.
So, you see all that. You've gone out into... I'm sorry, where was this? Was this in your office or in the hallway?
The main hallway of the 5th floor, just right outside the elevator.
Okay. And you hear yelling, you open the door, you see what you've described. What happened next? Let me ask, what did you do next?
I tried to de-escalate the situation.
Well, now, there's a key detail right there, because Cardi's story is that she got out of the elevator and was walking down the hallway and was getting followed. If his testimony, what he recalls, was that this took place basically right in front of the elevator, that does kind of cut against Cardi's version of events. But although that's me speculating, reading into it a little bit, he didn't really clarify exactly where it happened. But we'll see if the plaintiff on cross-exam wants to dive into the exact location.
separate the two and get our security guard back in the elevator and off the floor.
Do you remember anything that you said in trying to de-escalate?
I remember repeatedly, I was trying to match sort of with body, language, the intensity of it to get across the point that this was not okay, and this is your job.
And who did you address that to?
Ms. Ellis.
Okay. And did she say anything in response?
I don't remember. There was a lot of name calling going back and forth between the two and threats, that type of thing. But my primary objective was to get our security guard back in the elevator and off the floor.
And how did you accomplish that?
Repeating myself over and over and over. And I can't remember.
And it's important because he's making a snap judgment on basically who he needs to address first, who's being more of the instigator, more of the problem. And in his snap judgment, his assessment was that the plaintiff, Imani Ellis, she was the problem. And so that's why he was trying to remove her from the situation, get her back in the elevator, and get her out. So that does speak, once again, cuts against Imani Ellis and her mother and her grandmother, who all testified that she's just the sweet, innocent angel flower child of the whole moon. It just completely cuts against that.
Or if I was holding the elevator door open, or I've been trying to think about that. I have no idea. I remember pushing the button if it wasn't, but just to try to get the elevator there and get Ms. Ellis back on it.
Did you come between your receptionist and Cardi B, between them on the one hand, and Ms. Ellis?
I think to the side.
Okay. What did you tell her to try and get her to move into the elevator?
To stop and to do your job.
Did you say that repeatedly?
Yes.
Did you say it in a loud voice?
Yes.
And what was she doing when you were saying these things?
Yelling and pointing. I think at that point there was enough distance between the parties that there was no longer, any gestures that could be construed as violent.
Okay. And at that point, had the Cardi B and the receptionist gone back into the office, into your office?
Yes. As soon as Ms. Ellis stepped back on the elevator, Cardi and Tiara were headed back into my office.
At any point, were you face to face with Ms. Ellis?
Yes.
And can you ask me how close you were?
It was close proximity.
Okay.
Within a foot.
Okay, within a foot of her face.
Mm-hmm. Did you see a scar?
And,
yes.
Sorry. Anything bleeding?
Did you see on her face any scratches?
No.
Did you see on her face any cuts?
None.
Did you see on her face any blood?
No.
Did you see any injury at all on her face that day?
None.
And did you see spit or spittle or any other fluid on her, anywhere on her?
No.
During the course of this, did you hear Ms. Ellis say something to the effect, and I apologize, I will fuck your shit up?
Yes.
At any time, did you see Cardi B spit on plaintiff?
No.
Did you see her spit on anyone?
No.
Did you see Cardi B take a swing at plaintiff?
No.
Did you see Cardi B hit plaintiff?
No.
Did you see Cardi B scratch or cut plaintiff with her fingernails?
No.
Did you see Cardi B threaten to get plaintiff fired?
No.
Did you hear Cardi B call plaintiff the N-word? And by that I mean the whole N-I-G-G-E-R.
No.
Did you hear Cardi B call plaintiff fat or poor?
No.
Did you ever see... Did you see plaintiff... I take it you saw plaintiff hit your receptionist, is that correct?
Yes.
At her deposition, plaintiff testified that she was, quote, just focused on getting downstairs, close quote. Is that consistent with what you saw?
No.
Okay. And why is it not
I
consistent
would
with what
object
you
to
saw?
that.
It took me, I would have guessed 30 to 45 seconds to get her to get back on the elevator.
After you got plaintiff in the elevator, what did you do next?
Went back into my office.
Did you examine Cardi?
I saw her that day, yes.
In a patient room?
Yes.
Okay. And did she have 3-inch nails on her fingers that day?
No.
Okay. And how is it that you know that?
I make a point of looking at people's fingernails. I have no idea why. It sort of lightens the room when you're doing an exam, when you're about to do a pap smear, to say, oh, that's a really cool color. Where'd you get it? I can kind of tell all of the nail trends in the city. Because it's bizarre that once you see one type of nail polish, then that next 2 months, everyone has it. And it would have just stuck out to me.
That's a really good way of... to have a good reason to establish, like... How would you have noticed that? Because it's one thing to just say, what do you remember about her nails? And he gives like a really clear, detailed answer. It's like, you kind of begs the question of like, why do you have such a detailed recollection of that? So to actually have a good answer for that is pretty funny. Yeah. I can't remember, did they say anything about how long she had been a security guard in that particular building and if she had any interaction with other celebrities? They did ask her, well, that's the thing. The plaintiff's testimony was so all over the place. Like her lawyer was just taking her in all different directions. So I think he did at one point ask her how long she had been there. And I don't remember her saying anything about other celebrities But it did come up, at least on cross-exam, that part of the training is discretion is part of the training, to not be blasting out celebrity info if you're going to be security guard at a place like this. So I do remember that came up during testimony at some point.
To your knowledge, did Cardi B complain to the building about plaintiff's conduct?
No.
Did you take steps to make the building aware of plaintiff's conduct?
Yes.
And what steps did you take?
I called our practice administrator that day, and given what I had witnessed of the conduct of our security guard when I was out there, I said she needs to go. Then my administrator on Monday morning, I think, took Tiara down and made a statement for the building, and then the building proceeded to do what they did.
So he's the real reason she got fired. The claim is that Cardi B is the reason, but no, Cardi was like, I don't know, I just left and I never went back. I didn't have anything to do with any of that. So he was the real reason she got fired, because he said, yeah, this is unacceptable. She needs to go.
Thank you. Those are all the questions I have for you, sir. Thank you.
All right, question.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Good afternoon.
You're at 8920 Wilshire Boulevard?
Yes.
Are you aware that I'm across the street from your office at 9025 Wilshire Boulevard?
Nope.
When I approached you outside and I wanted to speak with you, is it true that you were unwilling to speak with me? Is that correct?
Yes.
And when the defense wanted to speak with you, you did talk to them, correct?
Yes.
You even prepared a declaration, and you gave them permission to sign it on your behalf?
Yes.
And you are here because you want to testify in favor of your patient, correct?
I'm here because I'm one of 4 people who were in the hallway that day.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you what I saw.
And you've been... I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I'm just flabbergasted by the allegations that don't seem congruent with what I saw that day.
Flabbergasted.
On how many occasions did you speak with the attorneys from the defense?
In person or over the phone?
Combined.
In person once, twice, including today. Over the phone 3 times.
What did you talk about that was so important 3 different times?
They wanted to know what I knew. They wanted to see if they could get a hold of Tiara, who no longer works at our practice. That's the nuts and bolts.
Okay. You are a licensed gynecologist in the state of California since 2007?
Yeah.
And in your field, your specialty deals with below the waist, correct?
Yes.
What is the reason you would think to look at Imani Ellis's face when you have 2 people that are yelling at each other with someone in between? Was there a reason that you were specifically at that time looking at Imani Ellis's face to tell us whether there was a scar, a cut, or anything to her face?
She was a foot away.
When at that moment, she was closer to the elevator. There probably was about 3-4 feet between the 2, and I got between her and them. And the elevator was directly behind her, so I was making direct eye contact to try to be as assertive as I could.
Okay. Isn't it true that you don't remember what you ate a week ago? Fair?
Objection.
This incident happened 2,741 days ago, 7.5 years ago. You agree?
Correct.
In those 7.5 years, did you take any notes of what happened on the day of the incident?
It's like he's making such a big point about all of the defense's witnesses, making a big point about how long ago this happened. But it's like that same rule applies to your own witness. Like, how are we supposed to believe that what she's telling the truth? If this was 2,741 days ago, any of your favorable witnesses, like, this is just it seems like such a stupid line of questioning, because the shoe fits on both feet, my guy.
I did not.
Okay. So everything you're telling us right now, from 7.5 years ago, is from your memory of what occurred, correct? And having all these conversations with defense counsel maybe help refresh your recollection, correct?
No.
No?
The majority of solidifying it in my brain over all these years is partially because the people who were involved in it, who were there that day in my office, would recount the story from time to time. And it was a very vivid memory and interaction.
Yeah. It's never happened before to him.
When you got there, Tiara Malcolm, your receptionist, was already outside, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Are you aware that Tiara Malcolm and even Cardi B have testified that for 40 to 50 seconds, you and Tiara Malcolm were not there? Are you aware of that?
I would guess it was shorter than that, but if their recollection is 40 to 50 seconds, I mean, as long as it takes me to go down the hallway and out into the hall, the type of yelling that was taking place was alarming, and so it was like, get there right away. I can't give you an exact time frame, but it wasn't more than 40 to 50 seconds.
And aside from Cardi B, do you service other celebrities?
I do.
Many different ones?
Over the years.
It's your impression. It's your well. Strike that. It's important to you to help Cardi B in this case, so you can continue to receive celebrity
Objection.
clients, correct?
It's very important for me to tell what happened that day and to ensure that anybody coming to my office, celebrity or not, doesn't have that type of experience.
Understood. But you had not gotten there until after many things occurred between the two of them, correct?
Pretty sure this is etched in his memory because this isn't the type of activity that happens regularly. Sounds like he was literally flabbergasted, and he did say he was flabbergasted by the security guard's behavior. Yeah, and that's another thing that goes towards credibility of establishing a reliable story is how routine is the thing that happened. And if it's so far out of the normal routine, that gives you, yeah, like you just said, it etches it into your memory of this is the only time this has ever happened in my life, and it involved a really high-profile client, Cardi B. Like, yeah, if this was just more of a run of the bill, like, oh, this happens every other week. Like, yeah, I'll be honest, as a DA, I saw so many crazy things in my time as a district attorney that it's like I don't remember all of them now because there were just it was like at least once a week there was like another crazy, notable, memorable story that was happening. So it's like hard to remember all of them now, because yeah, it was kind of nonstop. But yeah.
Earlier, you testified that you saw Imani Ellis hit your receptionist.
Yes.
You remember seeing that?
Yes.
How come your receptionist didn't say that?
Objections.
Yeah, objection to that. Whoa.
Are you aware that your receptionist who was facing Imani Ellis did not say that? Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of that.
Did your receptionist ever tell you that Imani Ellis hit her?
Yes, in the recollection of everything back and forth, and then she had a thing on her forehead.
Right.
It was very apparent to me that no hits landed on anybody else except for her, my receptionist.
And your receptionist specifically told you that Imani Ellis hit her, correct?
I saw it.
I understand, but did your
I
receptionist
don't know that she remembered it. I mean, I don't. Everyone's adrenaline was kind of elevated, and once we kind of recounted, there's some background as well. We had an attorney visited our office a few times in the weeks after the incident, inquiring what happened and various things, leaving a business card. So we talked about it a lot, and I think we both concluded that the only one who was smacked was her.
Did that receptionist make any type of claim against Miss Imani Ellis?
No.
Why not?
Objection calls for speculation.
Yeah.
In your declaration, you state that
Sounds like she
on one
should.
occasion, plaintiff's counsel left a business card. I'm the plaintiff's counsel. Did I leave a business card in your office? Do you know? I withdraw the question. Do you know if I left a business card in your office?
Objection calls for speculation.
You personally, I do not. It was a male, dark hair, darker beard, and a different receptionist got the business card, who wasn't working that particular Saturday. And I think at one point I came out on a different occasion when this person was came to the check-out desk, not the check-in desk, on a different date, and I said, you need to leave.
Okay. The declaration that you signed yesterday, have you read it?
It was read to me.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not even going to go down that path.
Can you look at the photograph in front of you?
Could you identify the counsel, please?
Yeah, poor receptionist took the only physical abuse that day. It seems like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The sounds like the lawsuit that should have happened was the receptionist suing Imani Ellis. But I mean, how much damage you're going to get out of that? What kind of deep pockets we're dealing with here? Probably not too deep. I mean, she's a security guard, but yeah, it sounds like that's the only assault that really happened.
Do you see the photograph?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't remember the exhibit number, but it's a photograph of Cardi B from 2018.
Your Honor, it's exhibit 232.
Thank you.
Okay. For the record, exhibit 232. Do you see the photograph?
I do.
Are you aware that this photograph was taken on February 18th of 2024, which was 1 week before the incident? Are you aware of that?
Objection, Your Honor.
Do you know when this photograph was taken?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, but it probably was around the time of the incident, I would guess.
And, if you look at the fingernails, since you're a fingernail man, if you look at these fingernails in the photograph, and sorry, I wasn't trying to be rude, I'm just making a joke. The fingernails that are in this picture, are these the same fingernails that Cardi B was wearing when she entered your office on the day of the incident?
I think so.
Are you sure?
I didn't memorize them, but I know that they weren't 3-inch long with a spear at the end.
But you're not sure if these are the same fingernails, correct?
I believe they are.
Was Cardi B's hair...
Another oof. Another big oof. plaintiff's lawyer, like he's even pacing back and forth nervously now. Yeah, it's one of those things. Why you never ask? Here's another famous saying. Y'all know I love my sayings. When it's pre-trial, you only ask questions you don't know the answer to because you're trying to find out the answer. When you're in trial, you only ask questions you already know the answer to. And he keeps asking questions he doesn't know the answer to, and he keeps getting bad answers that keep hurting his case.
This way when she came to your office, the same way in this photograph here? Was Cardi B dressed this way when she appeared in your office?
Objection, relevance.
Yeah. None of that was brought up on direct exam, so you can't ask about it.
When you came out into the hallway, did you hear Cardi B yelling profanities at Miss Ellis?
Yes.
What were some of the words without going into detail? The F word?
F's and B's and all of it.
So both sides were yelling at each other?
It was an epic yelling match.
Yelling
when
match.
you heard this epic yelling match, it was so loud that you heard it while you were inside of your office? Is that correct?
There's an additional hallway in between the main hallway and the office I was sitting in, and all the way at the south side of the building. Yes, took a lot of energy for me to hear.
When you walked out of your office, you didn't know what areas of the body Miss Imani Ellis was claiming injuries to at the time, correct?
Objection.
I withdraw. Do you know what areas of the body Imani Ellis, what areas of her body were injured at the time of the incident?
Objection. Argumentative.
Yeah, argumentative.
All the evidence in the case.
Did you have a reason to focus on any part of Imani Ellis's body when you came out?
No.
So, in your state of mind when you walked out,
Yeah, epic yelling match. The guy, I like this guy. Mr. Fingernail Man, we'll call him.
you walked out, you heard lots of screaming, 3 different women doing something, and you were focused at the whole thing, weren't you?
Yes, that was before I asked her to leave multiple times, of course, but face to face.
Right. But when you did come out, you saw 3 different women and your receptionist in between Cardi B and Imani Ellis, correct?
Yes.
And when you were facing that, your focus was not only at Imani Ellis, it was at everybody, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a lot of commotion and yelling and screaming and excitement at that very moment, right?
Correct.
And for how many seconds, when you first arrived, how much time passed before Imani Ellis went away?
It seemed like a long time. It probably was 45 seconds.
So in those 45 seconds, did you have a chance to examine Miss Imani Ellis?
I didn't examine her, I looked at her.
Okay. Did you specifically look at her face for some reason?
I was looking directly at her face for at least 20 seconds or so, repeating myself over and over and over.
And when you were doing that, you weren't looking for a scar, were you? Or a cut or any kind of damage to your face?
Like, why are you even asking these questions, my dude? Like, what? You don't want him to answer this because he's been emphatically clear that he was looking at her face and he had a great view, as he just said, for 20 seconds, looking directly eye to eye. And he didn't see any sort of scratch, any blood, any scar. And this guy's a medical doctor. Like, it's the kind of things that would stick out to a doctor. So, yeah, it's why are you even going down this path?
Sarah? Do you have any experience in plastic surgery?
Objection.
Yeah, objection relevant.
You may answer no.
Define plastic surgery.
You're the doctor.
I do cosmetic procedures on the vagina, the vulva, and I also do microneedling with radiofrequency procedures, CO2 laser ablation of things. I don't do the face.
So, if there was any damage to Miss Imani Ellis's face, if there was any kind of injury to it, would you have known?
Yes.
I would assume I would see blood or a big scrape or some physical damage.
And when you were out there, and you were between the 3 of them, the 3 women, when you were there, and in those 45 seconds, did you see the cut to your receptionist's face at that time, not later?
No.
You didn't see it?
I never looked directly at her until we were back in the office.
But at that time, it was there, right? During the 45 seconds, it already...
Well, sometimes little scratches like that might not show up for a little bit.
What's a little bit?
Well, if I just scratch my hand like this, I might see it out in the sun, 10 minutes later from just erythema.
Okay, so if Imani Ellis had a scratch, she could also develop it 10 minutes later. Yeah, you just testified to that.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
That's what your counsel said. That's what you testified to. But I would object, Your Honor. Just hear what it says.
All right, why don't we ask what this witness knows about the incident?
Yeah, he's not. He is an expert, but he's not been qualified as an expert. He's not here testifying as an expert. He's just here testifying as a fact witness about what happened with the incident. So, yeah, getting into the formation of scratches and timing, it's like, yeah, he did just say, but it's like, just because he took us a little outside the scope doesn't mean you can push it further outside the scope as the lawyer. You have to stay within. the scope of the examination.
When you spoke to defense counsel 3 times, which attorney was it? Was it Mr. Anderson or Mr. Lamb or Ms. Moore?
Over the phone, Ms. Moore.
Every time?
Probably, yes.
And for you to come down here and testify, you had to at least cancel half a day of your work, right?
I canceled my whole afternoon on a day's notice.
Are you getting paid to be here?
No.
Why are you testifying if you're not being paid? Were you subpoenaed?
I was not.
So you came voluntarily?
I did.
Just stop right now. Just stop. Plaintiff's lawyer, stop. Like, I get what he was trying to do to try and set him up of like, oh, maybe he's getting paid, maybe he's subpoenaed, set up some sort of bias, but like, you've gotten a little bit out so far. He's not been subpoenaed. He's not being paid to be here. He canceled his whole afternoon just so he could come testify to share the truth. It's like, what? As soon as you realize that, as the examiner, the person asking questions, like, just run away like your hair's on fire, because no further question you ask will help you here. It's only going to further a step. Like, you've already hurt yourself by showing that this witness is not a biased witness. That they're there, that he's here for free. In fact, he's losing money to be here, and like you've already hurt yourself on that front. And the fact that he's still continuing to go down this path, like I said, we figured it out. The plaintiff's lawyer here, it was an inside job. He works for Cardi B. That's the only logical explanation as to why he's been so bad this entire trial.
And they believed that you would appear here today in court with no subpoena. That's how confident they were that you were here to help them, correct? When Cardi B came into your office after the incident, what did she tell you?
I apologized. She was more calm than I thought she would be. She didn't complain about the incident or to me afterwards, which I was kind of surprised about as well. I would have been upset if I were the client. And then we proceeded to help her with what she came in for.
Could it be that she didn't apologize because she was the one that assaulted Miss Elliott?
Objection, speculations.
How about stopping with the could it be's and just ask him what happened, what you saw, what you heard, what you smelled?
Yes, sir. Can you look at the photograph again? The one that you have in front of you, exhibit 231 or 232? This one. In the photograph, you will see nails, fingernails with some rhinestones on top of them. Do you remember seeing rhinestones on Cardi B's fingernails when she came into your office on the date of the incident?
This characterizes the evidence in the photograph.
Over.
Yeah, I mean, they were decorative. She was not made up. She was in plain clothing, but the nails were done.
Yeah, it's a little hard to believe they're arguing over scratches. I mean, it is half the case, to be fair, it is half the case here of whether or not she was scratched hard enough to leave a scar and cause damage that needed plastic surgery, medical treatment to be taken care of. But so on that front, it's like, yeah, it is important. But the rest of it, though, it's like, no, I'm totally with you. It's like, really, is this really where is this the hill we're going to die on? But apparently for this plaintiff and her lawyer, yes, it is.
And those rhinestones, were they sharp and pointy?
I think rhinestones in general have rough edges.
And they're sharp and pointy with rough edges?
On the back, on the front side of the nail, on the top of the nail, they look like they project.
And I see that you're wearing glasses. Do you wear them? Were you wearing your glasses at the time of the incident?
I'm 99% sure I wasn't, because up until a couple years ago, I just wore contacts.
Were you wearing contacts at the time of the incident?
Yes.
So there was no vision issues?
No.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Doctor.
All right, Leroy?
Chris, just a few. I guess I'll do it here. Doctor, you said that you were one of 4 people in the hallway. So that's you, Cardi B, Ms. Malcolm, and the plaintiff?
Correct.
Was there anyone else in the hallway?
No.
Is it correct? Counsel asked you about cuts bleeding. Do cuts and scratches tend to bleed more if they're on the face than if they're on some other part of the body?
Objection. Calls for expert opinion outside the scope of this witness.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Is there a difference in the tendency to bleed if the cut or scratch is on your forehead or cheek than if it's on another part of your body?
The head face is generally, has greater blood flow, smaller blood vessels.
Okay. As a fingernail guy, have you seen?
Yeah, that's his fault. He is the fingernail guy. He established himself as such. But yeah, like how hard must someone be scratched so bad they need to have plastic surgery? Yeah, I mean, the photo they showed was just so not good. Like, it really didn't show anything as far as establishing that there was a real, like, a scar there. And this is the burden on the plaintiff to prove that this damage is what what she alleges it is, and we had no photos whatsoever from the entire 4 years between the injury itself and the plastic surgery that was done. And it was some microneedling, so it wasn't like a whole reconstruction or anything. But yeah, from the entire 4 years, like anytime any selfie she took, any family photo she took, like anything to show, oh yeah, she's got this big scar on her face now, or just a scar on her face. Nothing at all. There's no proof, no evidence offered whatsoever. And yeah, it's just the plaintiff's burden to provide that. And so without that, it's just how are we supposed to conclude that there was this actual damage that happened?
Fingernails where the rhinestones are flat, they're actually just little inserts. They look like rhinestones, but they're flat.
Objection calls for speculation. Over.
I have seen objects put into, I would guess it's an acrylic nail, and somewhat buried. I have seen that.
Yeah. Do you have any recollection now, 7.5 years later, whether the rhinestones in that photograph and on Cardi's fingernails were actually three-dimensional or were flat?
Objection calls for expert opinion. Over.
Expert calls for expert opinion on the composition of a acrylic fingernail. We need to call the Dr. Fingernail to come in and explain this.
1 second.
To be clear, I'm making fun of the plaintiff's lawyer because that was a stupid objection. You don't need to call Dr. Fingernail to come explain this.
No further questions. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Recross?
No further questions. Thank you.
All right, any questions from the jury? All right, please witness be excused.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Doctor. All right, does the defense have any more witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor.
Defense rests?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, does the plaintiff rest?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, folks, that concludes the presentation of evidence.
Boom.
We have some work to do on jury instructions, but there's a number of jury instructions that I can read now. So rather than do those on Tuesday, I'm going to read the set of jury instructions. There will be additional jury instructions read on Tuesday. The order in which I read these instructions is not important, so to the extent that I read some today and some on Tuesday, the experts' opinions. The law allows...
Okay, so it's basically just reading jury instructions, the rest of this. Pretty boring stuff, just explaining them, the elements of the crime, the elements of the cause of action, how you treat expert witnesses, how you treat different forms of evidence. Pretty standard, but also pretty boring, so not going to listen to that. Yeah, dimensionality of fingernails, yeah, for real. So yeah, wow, well that is it. We are officially caught up. We made it. 3 days testimony. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Yeah, so that is the conclusion of the evidence. The trial will resume tomorrow, Tuesday, September 2nd. The lawyers will have their opportunities to do their closing argument, and then from there he'll finish the rest of the jury instructions that are being disputed right now. The attorneys have had the weekend to figure out if they can agree on any more or not. But yeah, predictions as of now, I'm sticking to my guns. It's going to be a not liable not liable for really any of the damages. I think there's just been, even under the lower standard of proof in civil court, which is preponderance of the evidence, there's just been such a lack of evidence to prove that the physical injury actually happened or that the emotional injury actually happened. And when you've got 4 people that were direct witnesses, the 4 people in the hallway, and 3 of them are all saying the same thing, and it's supporting Cardi's side of things, and the only one with a different version of events is the plaintiff. It's just, who are we going to believe here? Who's more likely telling the truth? So, yeah, I think has been an extreme lack of evidence from the plaintiff. I think the plaintiff's lawyer has done a horrendous job presenting the case, asking questions that are just so clearly objectionable and do not come in. Apparently attempting to just flagrantly violate the court's orders of evidence that's excluded, trying to ask questions about evidence anyway. It's just been mishap after mishap of, representing to the court that he's got witnesses that he's ready to call, but then now it's like, oh, sorry, actually they're not available. I've got no contact with them. It's like, bro, you knew that. You knew you didn't have contact with them. So, yeah, there's a lot that went wrong for the plaintiff. Cardi's lawyers did a good job, naturally. I mean, imagine she paid top dollar for them. Yeah, this was good. Plaintiff's going to have a tough time after these experts and the receptionist. Yeah, no, day 3 was the nail in the coffin for sure for the plaintiff's case, because yeah, there is no coming back. There is no coming back from it. So yeah, I think closing arguments will not be very long. Should be about an hour. I do work tomorrow, so I'm working during the day. I will try to figure out, will you be live tomorrow? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I do work and I don't work from home. You know, I actually got to go to court and go to the office and have appointments and whatnot. But if we don't have a verdict yet, maybe I can cut out a little early. I will let y'all know. If you're not subscribed here, go to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That lets you know whenever I go live. It sends you a notification. That, or go follow on X at the Gen Z Attorney. I always post there when I'm about to go live, or give you the times that I'm going to do that. So that's the best way to be in touch with that. My hope, though, my goal is to be live before we get a verdict. And because there is a 3-hour time difference. I'm in North Carolina. So yeah, and they are going to break for lunch. So the lunch break would be about 3 o'clock my time. So if they don't have a verdict before lunch, then I will definitely be live doing a verdict watch and being able to sit and watch and wait for the verdict. So if they don't have a verdict by lunch, I will do that. But if they do, which part of me feels like they actually might, this might be a really quick verdict, like under an hour, because I think just the plaintiff's case was just so clearly in shambles. I'd be surprised if this jury took longer than an hour, but you never know. I've seen cases that I thought were clear slam dunk winners, like open shut, take forever for a jury to decide. I've seen ones that I think are a lot more confusing, a lot more complicated. I've seen those get decided super fast. So juries are quite unpredictable. So it's really hard to say, but so let's plan for that then, that I will be live. I will be hustling to get back home to be doing the coverage. So, but yeah, anyway, I know I've had some troopers here, Latara, Macrograms. Didn't get our boy Jay Mizak tonight, but that's okay. But I know the rest of y'all been trooping through this with me. Y'all some real troopers for real, covering these 3 days. But thankfully, yeah, 3 days of testimony is really not bad at all. It's really, and even then, it's really like 2.5 days. With day 2 and day 3 were full days, but day 1 was just 3 hours, I think. 3 hours of testimony, which we got through in like 2 hours. So yeah. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Gen Z Attorney. Have a good night, chat. Yep. You have a good night too, Tara. We will see you tomorrow. If nothing else, I'll plan on being live tomorrow night, just even if it's after the verdict, just to maybe talk a little bit more about it and see if there's any coverage that we can get from other content creators and see what they're saying. And maybe I can do some live reactions, break it down, see what other people are getting right, what other people are missing. You know how it is. You know how we did the Tory Lanez case. I was fact-checking all these other people and what they were getting wrong about the Tory Lanez case. So, but yeah, so I'll plan on being live tomorrow night anyway, just to wrap up, put a pin or wrap up this case with a nice bow on top. So yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow for that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream now. Thank you all again for being here. It means a lot. You guys make it fun. Love seeing y'all in the chat. And yeah, I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. So good night to y'all.